they're all going to merge, Jose. They're all going to merge.
Yeah,
it's not sustainable. They're all going to merge. We're going to go back to a big eight mentality.
That's what they're all doing right now. I mean, I see that all the time. Oh, this firm bought this firm. This firm bought this firm. I'm not going to buy that old ass firm.
No, it's going to get. I'm saying on a broad. I'm not saying.
You're talking about the big scale.
Yeah, listen. It's just my opinion, and I'm just looking through. I'm like, predicting the future, right? Do I have any data or no? All I have is I just have a gut, and I'm just looking at the way it is, right? Okay.
Yeah.
I know for a fact these firms are putting in marketing dollars on the television when that is definitely misguided, especially when you're doing it for the first time in 2018. Okay, that's number one, right? Number two, all of your people, right, that are doing this stuff, they're doing it as a copy and paste, like a reshare, right? Like, you think that's sexy? Like, that's not sexy. All of you guys are doing that. So you're not building the brand.
Hey guys, welcome to another episode of the Innovative Disruptors Podcast. We got Justin. I don't know how to say your last name.
I don't want to say it wrong. Justin McAuliffe.
McAuliffe. Okay, with CPA Enterprises, correct?
Yes, sir.
And he's based out of New York City. If I'm not mistaken.
I mean, I'm based out of anywhere.
Okay.
But I live in Long Island.
Okay, from Long Island. And came across this gentleman on Instagram. Loved the marketing he was doing. Loved what he was talking about. And he's all about keeping it real. That's the way I feel. So, just wanted to go ahead, Justin. Tell me a little bit about yourself and your background. Kind of how'd you get started, and what made you choose accounting to begin with?
My name. Thank you for having me on. I appreciate it. I appreciate the opportunity for me to ramble, document this finally. So, which is nice because then I don't have to say it anymore. So, I'm 37 years old. I am the father of Logan and Lila. My son is 5. My daughter's 2.5. Logan is pretty much the reason why I'm doing what I'm doing, because I remember not seeing him, and Lila is the reason why I quit, because I was not going to do it again. I went to SUNY Binghamton. I started my college career at Nassau Community College. It's here on Long Island in Garden City. When I left high school, I really didn't know what I wanted to do, honestly. Like, I was like a B+ student. I didn't try that hard, but, you do what you can, and, whatever. It was what it was. I didn't get into really good schools. Like, I looked at SUNY, but I got to be honest, man, I didn't know what I wanted to do.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you know what? Fuck it. I'll just do community college and kind of take it from there. And I crushed it at community college, man. I got like cum laude or something. I got some really, and I did really, really well. And it was great because, I did 2.5 years. So when I was, maybe first, second semester at Nassau Community College, I was doing so well. They offered me an honors class for literature or English, some general education that I was doing very well with. I was excelling in it, and they wanted to invite me to the curriculum. And I didn't want to do it. I'm like, no thanks. Like, I don't want any extra work. I'm cool. I'm chilling. Like, what's the benefit? Like, I really didn't want to do it, but they convinced me. They just convinced me to do it. Yeah. And they said the work wasn't as much, but the course was more enriched. And I was like, all right, I'll bite. Dude, it was 10 books and 10 5-page papers throughout the whole semester. Like, I started doing it. Like, I was falling behind. I hated the books, and I just stopped showing up class. And I needed it to graduate. I never took it again. So here I am 2 years into Nassau Community College, and I got one more class. So I did 2.5 years at community college. And the fall of 2003, I got to, whatever. Hold on a second.
Yeah.
Because I forget. I don't remember the dates, and I want to just make sure I got the timeline right. So that was right. So that was okay. So then my fall semester of 2004 is when I took the one class, just the one.
That Spanish or that, not Spanish, but that literature honors class or whatever.
Whatever it was, but it wasn't the honors.
That sounds okay, not the honors. Okay, yeah, because I was like, that sounds miserable, man.
I just went back to they threw me out of the class. I wasn't gonna go. Like, I got thrown out of being Alpha Psi though too. That's a different story. It wasn't my first educational failure. So I took the one class. I got a B+. was like, fucking take one class, you got B plus. But you know what? That was enough to get into Binghamton. Spring 2005, I got into Binghamton, and that was go time, man. Like Binghamton's a legit school, and I'm even sitting here to you today talking to you. I can't believe I went there. Like I can't believe I got in, and I wasn't that good in high school, but I was really good at community college. They didn't even look at my high school grades. They didn't even care. They didn't care about my SATs. I'm not kidding. I got a 980 on an SAT. Do you know anyone who got a 980 on an SAT and went to Binghamton? Because people are getting 2400. Like that was the 1600 too. Yeah. Like, you know, but they didn't look at it. And I don't know if they still do that, but I crushed community college, and that was enough to get in. And it wasn't enough to get into the School of Management, which was the accounting program. Enough to get into Binghamton, and that was the first step. First semester, I take 3 classes. It was an economics class, a calculus, and something else. First semester was spring 2005. I took the 3 classes, and I did well in 2, but calculus was a struggle, and I got a D, which is when I got thrown out of Beta Alpha Psi, because that was brought my average down quite a bit. And that was a significant issue because that wasn't going to work for me to get in the School of Management. And you talk about story, like that's a big, like you don't think of it then, but as you talk about it and you interview on it and you discuss the story and you're like, holy fuck, man, like that was the moment, right? Because I got that D in calculus and I was going to be liberal arts. But I was a hustler then, didn't realize it. And didn't know I had it in me, and I'm only realizing it now. And I went to Professor Gagan, and I remember this very clearly. Nice guy. I think he was like Swedish, and he was tall, gray hair, really super sweet guy. Like he was just the only real professor I remember from Binghamton, believe it or not. And I talked to him, and I just gave him my story. You know, look, I mean, everything I just told you. You know, I'm a little bit older. Like I'm going to school for the first time. Like everyone's done this for 2.5 years. Like I was a little outside of my comfort zone. I did my best. You know, I tried. I mean, is there a way, you know, I can give this another shot? Maybe we can merge the grades or average the grades. And he's like, you know what? I'll do you one better. Don't register. Come to the class, take all the tests, and I'll replace the grade.
Oh, wow.
All right, cool, man. I appreciate that. He's like, but don't register. Because if you register, they're going to know you're taking it. And I can't go back. Like I can go back, right? So the fall semester, I took it again, and he's able to go back and change the grade. And I was all in. Like I studied calculus all day, and I'm not kidding. And I can't believe I did it still. Like even the CPA exam, because there's so much of me that doesn't have that ethic, you know, like it just takes me a little bit longer to do things, and I got to fail a couple of times. Like I have to fail it, and usually failing by 1 point is my MO. But you know, I was able to take the class again, and I went to extra help every day. I studied every day. I took every quiz. I took every test. I sat in the front fucking row every single class. I got to tell you, man, when at the end of that semester, I could have gone and become a NASA fucking I had calculus down pat, and that could have been a whole new career for me because I was like, dude, not kidding. I got an A in the class. I got an A. I got an A in the class. My man replaced the D, and I got an A.
Nice.
The day I took the final, I handed him the final, and I gave him the final, and I said, you know, I shook his hand. I'm like, hey, you know, really appreciate it again. Like, I can't thank you enough for this opportunity. Like, you know, I did really well. I'm confident. And you know, of course I got the A. And he's like, I'm sorry, who are you again? I was like, what? Like, he's like, I'm sorry, you were in this class. He had no idea who I was. Not kidding. Like, he didn't know who I was for a split second. And I almost shit my pants. I'm like, what? Like, no, man, go talk to, you know, he was the, you know, the TA at the time. I guess he just had a brain fart, and he's like, oh yeah, Justin, yeah, I'm sorry. I just, you know, and I'm like, oh, okay, like, so we're good, man? He's like, we're good? He's like, yeah, we're good. And then I got the A. I never reapplied for Beta Alpha Psi, so whatever. Or maybe it doesn't really, I don't know if I got that story right. But then I got into School of Management, got my degree. And that was, you know, that there's really nothing in between there. Like, you know, I just, whatever, it was Binghamton. I didn't really hang out much. I didn't go out and party a lot. I smoked a shitload of weed, studied, played tons of PlayStation, and I just kind of, a little bit of an introvert in college, believe it or not. Started off at an audit firm, and I was there for 5 years and absolutely hated it. I think that's a common theme, and audit's kind of hot for like a year, 2 years, right? You're the new guy and you're going out partying, and you know, that working late is like cool in the beginning, right? It's like, oh, I can work later than you, and I can work later than you, and right? And everyone's like competing with billable hours and all this other stuff, but that gets old pretty fast.
Yeah.
And then you start competing with your peers, and you know, then it becomes more of a political game. It becomes a little bit more of like a popularity game, and a little bit less professional. And you know, I have notes of some reviews. I don't know if you saw, like I had mentioned recently that I went through all these files.
I saw that. Yeah, you said you found like a gold mine of just info. And so, by the way, I am excited to see what you're coming out with, because I can't imagine what you found in there. So
Juan has a bunch of it. He has a bunch of it already. We're going to have to try to cut it up and do something with it. But yeah, I got a lot of good stuff. Like just some, like the best stuff really is the inside of the firm. Now, I am going to redact everybody. Like, I'm not calling anyone out. Like, you know, but I got your words, guys, and I'm going to use it. I'm sorry, because it proves what needs to change. Yeah. Like, I have a whole email chain of a request that was requested from a client, my client, right? It was my client that I left the firm. I'll fast forward just a little bit real quick, that I took, and what I took with me, it was my client. And I needed to get recently some tax returns because I had lost everything for a different reason, and the person at the client was, you know, not tech savvy, and they couldn't really find it. So I asked the former partner to do it. He proceeded to tell me, he's like, really, dude, 2 years later, this is bullshit, but I'll do it. I'm pretty sure I quoted it. After that, I have a string of emails that was first a reminder from the client, because the partner was like, oh, sure, Mr. No problem. I'll get it to you Monday. And obviously we had a follow up, right? Yeah. It was a tax return, my man. It comes out of Go File Room. It literally could have taken a minute. Yeah. 10 minutes. You know what? A quarter of an hour, Mr. Billable out. Bill a fucking quarter of an hour, right? Just call administrative time. Client asks for something, dive in, stop what you're doing, pull it out, send it, get it off your plate. That's what I do all the time, right? Yeah. Most stuff going. We have to remind somebody, okay? Meaning the client needs to remind the partner. The partner then delegates it to the senior. You know, Miss whoever, see below. The senior delegates it to the junior. Okay. It's a PDF.
Wow.
PDF in a folder. Yeah. Here you go, Joe. Thank you for your time. Yeah. Delegated by a partner to a senior to then a junior, right? Who then spends the time putting it together and then sends an email. Then that email goes to the senior. No. I'm pretty sure the partner wasn't CC'd on that. Forwarded to the partner and then sent to the client. And this was, I mean, I kind of did the math. Maybe it's like 2 or 3 hours. Like if you look at like the time between and stuff like that. And yeah. Add
3
that
hours
up
to get a PDF of a tax return.
Well, first, really, technically, it took 10 days, right? Technically, it took 10 days because we asked for it on a Friday. You know, we were promised on a Monday. We followed up later that week. You know, and then finally got it. Like the timeline's on there. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put together posts, and I'm gonna put together some stories. The post today that I'm doing today is that story, because I can't believe it. Like, honestly, like I'm looking and like, you don't think of it when you're there, but then add it up. 10 minutes, 15 minutes, 30 minutes. But this is why we are miserable, ladies and gentlemen, because you're not even what are you teaching us? Like for you delegating that to the senior, what are you teaching us? To just pass the buck? Like who the fuck is accountable for the fact that I didn't get my tax return the day I got it? Like this is called client service. Nobody gives a shit that you know 481A. Nobody cares. Like literally nobody cares. They want a fucking response. That's why you just your client that you're going to find out about today, by the way. So listen, audit wasn't for me. I made some good friends. You know, I had some good times. I got some good traveling. I got some good reviews, but also not so many good reviews. And they kind of stalled my, my progress, my advancement. They gave me a little ultimatum. I actually never said this publicly. They laid me off. I'd always said that I had left because I was a little ashamed, and I was embarrassed. But since I've gotten fired twice, I don't really fucking care anymore. So, I mean, I got laid off. It was different. It was a different time. It was 2010. June 2010, and I was up for review, and I remember it like it was yesterday.
Yeah.
I was called in, and they weren't going to make me senior, which means I was hasta la vista.
Mm-hmm.
And all I wanted, I'm like, what? Like, I mean, you know, I had these different skills, like with the business development, like I try to get involved with different pride and service, like, and my reviews from there were stellar.
Mm-hmm.
There was only a couple. And the reason why there were a couple is because I liked it. Like, I liked doing what I was doing, so I crushed it. And then the bullshit I didn't want to do, but they wanted you to do that. Like, how do you expect us to be inspired and passionate about work that we not only not want to do, that's boring, but you're putting us in a little cage with 9 other people where it's hot, and then you're making me dress business casual. Fuck you. Like, seriously, think about that, right? So they laid me off, and I gotta tell you, and this gentleman knows exactly who he is, and this female knows exactly who they are.
Yeah.
They did the most amazing thing that literally anyone has ever done for me in my career. And they literally gave me the heads up.
Yeah.
Oh man, they gave me the heads up, man. Like they told me it was coming. And you know, they gave me the day when they told me. I was really upset, the HR, the woman said, why don't you take the day? And that was really nice. And my man was so upset he couldn't even tell me, like, because he was my friend, like, we talk every now and again, I love you, you know who we are. He couldn't do it. And honestly, like, it was cool. Like, it was upsetting, but it was really, really cool. Because then I went into him. He's like, I'm so sorry. I'm like, it's fine. Like, it wasn't working out. Like, it was really good. I got a severance. That was nice. And they gave me the day off, and they gave me a full week to kind of like get it together. And they even lined up a job for me, which was my next gig, which started July 2010. And my man hooked me up, and he had a relationship, and it was here locally in Long Island. It was 5 minutes from my house, and it was taxes. Right. So that's really where my today started. I had some skills from audit, but I didn't really, like, the last 2 years, I wasn't learning shit. And that's because I didn't like it. Right. So, but I go here and I learned how to do tax returns, sales tax, payroll tax, income tax, partnerships, S corporations, C corporations. Most importantly, I learned how to do the bookkeeping. I was hammering. Whoops. Hopefully not something. Anyway, it's probably broken. I was hammering bookkeeping, right? Dates, data input, vendors, customers, chart of accounts, this. And I went in to do this. I didn't really get it. Even at the other one, thank you. I didn't really know even how to do depreciation. Like, that was a big thing in the caseware files, right? It was like the journal entries that had to get booked. But I learned all of that there. I was there for about 3.5 years, 3 years, 4 months. And I learned it all, everything, all of it. And I mastered it. That's why I left, right? I left for 2 reasons. Number one, I hit a plateau. I was firing bookkeeping, like boom, 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 boom. And I didn't even know then. So that was 2010 to 13, October. I didn't know then that you can bridge the bank accounts, and I didn't know. So that's why I was hammering it. And I wonder now, going back, and I don't know this answer, did they know that, but this was better billable hours because it was more time? Or, I don't really know. To be honest, or they were just stupid and they didn't know it,
that's a good question, because I now that because I always thought they just didn't know, but you bringing up the whole point of, you're right. It's just more billable hours. And when you're based on the billable hour, you try to get as many as you can out.
Well, that's what the last shithole I was at. And that's what they did pretty much. That was their MO. And that was ultimately then the beginning of the end for me, when I opened up a set of books and records, and there was a lot of questions that I had. But I was told to just do the scope. Don't go outside scope. Outside scope. If I'm seeing something, I'm saying something. This is messed up. We're working here with a company. We're an outsourced bookkeeping shop, right? So they're outsourcing all their accounting work to us, and we're doing the work. Okay. There's a CFO and a controller on site. I think there was another financial person. Okay. So that's a controller, a CFO, right? I think there was somebody else on the team. Let's just say there was 2. Okay. And then you had us. You had the partner, non-CPA, on the account, right, who was controlling the account, and then you had me. I'm the only one with half a brain that even understands accounting on this team. Yeah. Because, my man, they were literally taking paper files of Expensify reports, okay? And we had to reconcile the different, because it was all like sales commissions, and I think they sold jewelry or something. It was all sales commission. Everyone was 1099. So they had a lot of expenses, and they had a lot of reimbursement stuff. The whole general ledger was a fucking mess. And and the more I dove into it, the more questions I had. But the scope of the project was to just to put it all back together and do the reconciliations and like try to tie it out. And it was hard, like, because it didn't make any sense. Like we weren't really accomplishing anything except for tying out an Excel sheet to these Expensify reports and then making sure people weren't overpaid. I was drilling into these things and they were journal entries all over the place. Like, what is going on? Like, what is this? What is this? Like, and I'm just looking at this one piece on the general ledger and I'm just supposed to reconcile that to these files. Like, the amount of time that took was insane. And the accounting did not make sense. Okay. The accounting didn't make sense. And this is why I meant, like, the former partner on that, he or she didn't know shit, not an accountant, because I was trying to go through the accounting because the accounting was not correct. And we have a client that has a CFO and a controller.
Wow.
And they're paying us $100 an hour to reconcile Expensify reports.
God. Well, I mean,
I asked a lot of questions I shouldn't have. And when I was asking for help with the accounting, I knew the journal entries, I knew the debits and the credits and the superior on it. She was writing T accounts for me. And I've never been more insulted in my entire career. I had a non-CPA that literally had, nothing impressive in terms of experience. Like not even close to where my level of experience was, working at big public accounting firms, at least two, like one of the biggest ones in the state. The first one I was at, and like the biggest single office firm in like the country, or like, it's it's a legit firm. Like they have good people there. And like this person came from some little chop shop and didn't know shit. And then she's sitting there giving me T accounts. And I'm like, what? And then we got in this huge fight. And that was it, man. Like that was 3-4 months into that job. I went on a tangent, so I'll go back. I want to go back for a quick second though, because that's how I learned that stuff. And then moving forward, that's how I knew that I was a master at it. That's how I knew I was good at it.
Yeah.
Because I get to that last job, my last real job, my last W-2, right? But when I was at that next firm in Long Island, in Belmore, which was great because it was right around the block from my house. I came home for lunch, but it was tax season and I was a maniac. I was a machine. I mean, nobody was working harder than me in there. And I was learning technically, right? So like I had a lot of technical stuff to learn and I did learn it eventually. But I was there till 2-3 o'clock in the morning and I was working for bonuses. I was working for promotions. I wanted to own the firm, but they had other ideas, right? I mean, it's an older shop. They wanted to control me. I had asked for partnership in writing. I wanted some kind of plan. I wanted some kind of documentation. They refused to do it. I asked for more money. They refused to give it to me. I had my billable and stuff and I was, ready to bring in clients too. And they said they passed. So then I quit. And then they of course give me everything I wanted, literally everything I wanted, everything. I asked for a bunch of shit. They said no. I went to the next firm. I got the job, right? I was offered, I accepted the offer. And then I went to get notice and give my 2 weeks, and then they try to convince me to stay and give me
by giving you everything you want. Just like here, oh yeah, no, we can do that. We talked about it. We can do it. Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about.
I want it based on merit, not because I'm quitting. Because that's choose two. I'm not loyal to you, but you're not loyal to me. I'm a number. Yeah, I'm a human though, but I'm a number because you just need somebody to crank out work so you can profit off my time. That's the only reason why you're doing. And guess what? Now, maybe not then, but now I'm smarter than you. I'm way better than you. Like I'm just and I'm proving it because I'm getting your work. I'm seeing it. I'm seeing your work. And if it's not your work, it's work that you're overseeing, right? Which means you're not advising your client properly because they have another provider that's not doing their part. So when I left the Long Island firm, I went to the next firm, I got the job. And this is another common theme. So desperate for talent, so desperate for numbers, so desperate for experienced people, right? Like let's think about talking about my career, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So over 8 years, right? I had 5 years, like almost 5 years of audit and less in tax, like 3.5. So I was a better, more experienced auditor, which I wasn't at all. Than I was a tax person. They brought me as a manager. because that was the only way to parallel my salary. And I got to tell you, without that opportunity, I wouldn't be here either. Right. Like, it's just, yes, I mean, that's an amazing thing. And the person that got me the job was incredible. I mean, and then them giving me the opportunity, right. Thank you. Like, fuck yeah, man. Like, that's awesome. And I appreciate that. But I was way over my head, technically, like way over my head, man. Like there was all sorts of shit I never seen before. Like I had no idea. They never trained me on it. They never really told me, like the first couple of the days, and then they got me involved, and like the environment was just tense and nasty, and like people were just fucking miserable, and like we're all fighting with each other. Like the amount of fucking fights that happen, especially between some of the women, and no disrespect, I mean, that's just the way it was in my office. And that was tough, man. Like that was like, then you're trying to work with them, and like, then they're all upset and they're fighting with each other, and like the men are no better because like me, and it's like, but that's like yelling and screaming too and slamming door. But this fucking happened. Like this stuff was happening at this place. And a lot of it stemmed from the fact that nobody was really qualified for the jobs. We just weren't. They were just putting numbers in. Like there were some of my staff that were way better and smarter than me. I was making way more money than them, and I had an office because I could manage. So, the first year sucked. I literally cried during tax season. I'm not kidding. My wife can attest to it. Like I was crying at night. I was really depressed, really, really depressed, and really struggling. And it was really hard. The technical challenge is one thing, but the emotional and lack of support from your superiors, the lack of guidance, the lack of mentorship, not saying that it was completely zero, but the things that mattered, right? The technical stuff, like, why don't you teach me how to review a tax return? Instead of giving me a tax return to do, hey, see what you can do, send it to me, and then eviscerate me with 27 review points, and none of it's really productive. Like, you're not teaching me anything.
Yeah.
That, by the way, I found some review notes in my treasure trove, so I'll be sharing that too.
Okay. Yes.
Return review notes from partners at big firms. You want to know why things take so long, guys? Just wait till you see this shit. Okay, just wait till you see all of this work that I'm going to share with you that literally was written off. Okay, so first year was tough. I hit my stride. I kind of got it. I started getting a little bit more respect from the staff people because they didn't respect me because most of them were smarter than me and they knew more stuff than me, and I get it. And like, but my bosses just gave me such a hard time for that. Like they just said, "Oh, you got to gain their respect back." I'm like, why don't you fucking support me and tell them like, "Hey, listen, Justin, we kind of made a mistake. We thought he was more technical. Listen, here, we got to keep him. He's got a lot of talents. There were a lot of things I was good at, a lot of things I wasn't good at. Why don't we try to support him as a person?
Get the whole team on board instead of just sitting there and saying you have to do it. Why can't they go out there and try to get everybody ready? It's like, look, he may have some weaknesses here, but let's all work together and let's all build up together. Why is that so hard?
Well, it's because we preach teamwork and family, but it's not. And the
No,
reason
I know.
it's hard is because everybody is having an expectation of somebody else, and nobody is meeting that expectation because we're not communicating.
Yep.
Okay. And juniors and staff and associates, they're navigating this world technically way better than their bosses. So how are we supposed to take you seriously if you're not even understanding the world that's out there? Like, you just don't. Like, you and me are connecting on LinkedIn and Instagram, and we see what's going on. These, right? The Big Four accountant, the memes, like this is worldwide. Like these articles I'm writing, like, and I've said this on Juan's thing, like on CPA Primetime, like I'm getting people from all over the world are talking about this stuff. So from an opportunity of innovation, that was it. Like, this is it. This is the group, right? We can just support each other and really trying to change the game, but you don't, because you care about yourself, you care about your paycheck, you care about your family, and you want everyone else to just do what you say. And that's the top. The bottom, they look at you as, fuck you. You don't even know what you're talking about. I'm not doing that work for you. Like, you're not teaching me. You're not. And then during the reviews, all they do is throw the managers under the bus, right? The managers suck. The managers suck. And then we're the ones getting criticized and developed because we're the managers and we're supposed to be tougher and we're going to get into the partner show and senior manager. And that's what we got to do to be one of the boys and one of the girls and bad.
The what they call it, the boys club or whatever that's up there. Yeah. The good old boy club. I had a colleague of mine say that's kind of, he ran into that too. It's like the whole good old boy mentality of, you're the boss and, everybody else do what I tell you or else.
Nurturing and empathy is not only expected, it's required. It's required. It's a different world, guys. You know, maybe the 50, 60-year-olds grew up in a harder world, and that's why they're a little bit harder, and maybe we're a little bit softer. But fuck you. It's just the way the world is, man. Help. Right? The only way we're going to advance as a society and a human race is we just help each other. And public accounting is a perfect example of how that does not work, right? Because we're all protecting ourselves, you know, and just because I want to just keep going through my story because I know that's important, and I want to but you know, when I was at that firm, you know, once I hit my stride, and I had a lot to work on, like, but I was getting better, and I was getting better, and what I found out that I was a good salesperson, and I was a good networker, and I was a good business developer, and I was bringing in business, and I was bringing in some pretty decent business, some nice opportunities, some nice relationships, you know, maybe not the best in terms of gross revenue, but go find me. And my name used to be on the you get an opportunity, you put it in. You get an opportunity, you put it in the database, right? Yeah. And it shows throughout the entire firm. My name is always on there. And I'm talking about I'm a manager, and I'm on there with partners. Yes, there's some directors and senior managers and all the managers bringing in business. Yeah. I didn't see many, if any, that was on it consistently as me. And I had $120,000 book of business by the time I left that place. You know, just through either relationships I developed, selling internally, right? Because selling it's great to get new clients, and that's awesome, but then you need to sell them on other services, because there are other services, and those are more opportunities, and those are your best opportunities because your clients already love you. Well, not in this case, but because people don't respond. But, you know, those are the things that people don't look at, because you have the clients, service the clients, because that's going to lead to more work. But no, we don't service the clients. We hit deadlines, make sure we stay on the budget, and we, you know, try to. And that's all we care about, right? We got to get more money. We got to spend less time, blah, blah, blah. So through all of this, you know, business development and networking and confidence, and I was getting better at it, and I was getting involved, and I'm bringing in clients and business, and now all of a sudden my billable hours aren't enough. All of a sudden my realization isn't enough. I'm like, yeah, well, if you back out my administrative time, my business development time, right, back it out completely off my gross, and then compare me to my peers, not only are the hours are the same, but my billable rate is about the same. Right. So we're going to look at metrics on a piece of paper, and we're going to have actual conversations about this. And we're going to say, management's looking for this, management's looking for this. Like I mean, I don't know many accountants that have never been told that the fastest way to partnership is to bring in business and make it rain. That's what I was always told, and I know a majority of people are told. I'm here to tell you that that is complete bullshit, because you were looking at somebody that was literally a rainmaker and one of the better ones in the firm, and I wasn't even that good then. You thought I was good then, just see me now. I'm taking their clients now because I communicate, I service, I respond. And these aren't even my clients. They're asking me questions that you can't answer. Why do you think I'm getting them? Yeah. Why do you think I'm getting them as client? And not even that, I'm active on social media, and they see my articles, and they see my Instagram, and they see all this great stuff that I'm doing, and I have all this other great stuff to do more. And hate is going to hate. You want to hate it? Go right ahead. But you hate me because you ain't me, and that's really what it comes down to. And I don't want to just eviscerate. I want to change, okay? I want to break it. And then let's redo it, because we all need to help each other, okay? It's just you guys are dicks. All right. And I'm not taking your shit anymore. Okay. And I know my people are afraid, and they don't want to, and I get it, because you have a salary, but you can, and we'll get to that, because I know that was one of your things. So with all of that, I actually got some national attention, and the CEO, I got the CEO's attention. There was a need for innovation. The CEO and the board members recognized the fact that there was a need for innovation, and they developed a committee. A pretty awesome group of I mean, this was an awesome, like one of the best things I've done there, because I was with like real professionals that really got it, that really wanted to, you know, do good stuff. And we were talking about all the things I'm telling you now, right? The inefficiencies, the staff, the working the hours, and everything, right? All of it. And it was awesome. And it was a couple of day program, and we got together, and the goal was to drive the innovation through the 6 pillars, like efficiency, training, technology, whatever it was. Right. Yeah. And those are the 6 pillars, and we all worked on them. We put these presentations together, and we presented it to the board and the CEO. And there was a lot of conversations, and there was a lot of brainstorming, and I was active, and I participated. A little secret, I think people know this. At that time, I already had the other job offer lined up. Like, I was already on the back end. And I'll kind of pick that up too, because The innovation committee was really awesome.
Mm-hmm.
I participated. I was active in the room.
Mm-hmm.
They took note of that. And I'm not sure if this is the case, but I'm going to assume like, I think it was like a project for them to put everybody in the room, because I think they were looking for special people. I think they were looking for particular people that they could bring into a program to drive the innovation. And I was one of those people. I was one of the fortunate ones, and I didn't even know that it happened. I only found out later on that one of the managing people, one of the board members, or one of the important people in the firm had reached out to my bosses, my two bosses at the time, two of my partners, the main guys, who I love. I mean, I just, they're good people. It's just, it didn't work. And they called me into their office one day, and the conversation was twofold: to talk about this opportunity that I hadn't known about, but also to talk about my work that was suffering significantly. The reason why that was because my daughter was born July of 16. And like I said before, once Lila was born, and I remember all the stuff I lost with Logan, I said, not anymore. I'm not doing it. My time is valuable and I'm done. Okay. I was going through these clients with my partners, and I had to say, we need more money. We're running up $100,000. You know what else I found? I have my last billing run from October 16 of all my clients, and all my WIP, and all my write-offs, and all my collections, and all my cash, and all my AR. And it's a beautiful thing. It's fucking like I'm looking at it.
I'm very excited about that box of gold that you found.
Oh yeah. Oh right. The billing. So I got I have it. I just got to figure out what I want to do with it, and I want to do it good. Like I want it to be, I want it to be good. I want people to be able to read it and digest it. And I just don't want my former employers and bosses and everyone to see it, but I want other people to see it, especially those that don't really work in our profession, because I want them to understand when I start charging you $1,500 for a basic tax return, you're going to understand why, because that's what it should be. So, I got the attention and I got the opportunity, and I was presented the opportunity. And like I said, this meeting was twofold. Number one, to discuss the opportunity, which I'll touch on in a second, but number two, to discuss my suffering work and the amount of review notes that were needed to be discussed on the returns I was reviewing. Here's what I did, my man. I looked at all that billing stuff, right? And I was seeing what was going on. And I started doing internally what I felt these clients were deserving of me and my time. And I would look at the budget, and I would look at how much cash we collected and what's on there for the billing, et cetera, et cetera. And I've determined that this return needs 3 hours, 5 hours. And I capped it. I did it. I did just that, because a lot of these returns had 2 reviews already, right? It was prepped, and then it was probably reviewed by a senior. If not, maybe it was prepped in India, right? Because that's what we did. I mean, we outsourced everything to India. That's just what, that was low cost. Yeah. Probably created more work because it was just, it doesn't work.
I've heard that so many times.
It's terrible, whatever. So, and then it gets prepped, and then it goes to a junior and then a senior. So at that level, right, they can just blame the managers, and that's what you do. You just blame the managers. Blame the managers, right? You didn't teach me this, that, and the other thing. So, all right, motherfuckers. So I started reviewing the returns with what I wanted to do. 5 hours. Guess what? It sucked. It wasn't good. I don't care, okay? I want to go home and see my kids. If it sucks, then get more money, all right? Go get money. And that's what I would ask. And they would be like, oh, really? You're just going to give up $20,000? Oh, really? You're just going to give up $30,000? Yeah, dude, because we're racking up $150. Like, are you fucking kidding me? My man, we did this tax return. I'll never forget this return. He was a plastic surgeon, and he was making $10 million with his W-2s and his investments and capital gains and dividends. Like, though his wife was an early investor in Twitter and sold her stock in, whatever that was, probably 2014, 15, maybe something like that, right? And there was a tremendous amount of gains. And his tax return was a beast. I mean, tons of brokerage statements, all these MLPs, which are called master limited partnerships. And right? So, and those fucking oil things and these nobody knows what to do with them. Like, I am convinced the entire world, or at least the entire country, and they get those MLPs, everybody that looks, what do you do with this? You know what I'm gonna do? It throw in the fucking garbage, because I'm not getting it anyway. Like, just audit me. Just fucking give me an assessment. If you have it, then just charge my tax return, and I'll just write you a check, because it's not even worth my accountant's time. But they don't care, because we're gonna do it. So that was a significant problem, right? Because I wasn't billing, I wasn't putting in the time that I should have. Because, I wanted my work-life balance that they promised me.
Yeah.
And if we're a family, then you're going to understand my position, because you're going to understand that I'm trying to do these things, and you're going to understand that, yeah, Justin, you got a point. We got a problem here, right? Because if we can't do Joe Blow's tax return that has all of these things and MLPs for $950. That's what we did it for. $950. You know what my billable rate was then? $550. And you know what the excuse was? It's a flat rate for all the doctors, which there were 5. I don't know why I air quoted. They were actually doctors. Like, they're not. Yeah. So I don't know why.
Not like Dr. Phil or anything like that.
They aren't real doctors. Like, they're real doctors. And they were all really. I liked all of them. Like, they were really nice, except for the controller. She was the worst. That's a different thing. So, the thing was, well, we get it on the accounting work. Right? And all we were the controller's little bitch. Like, anytime she needed something, we just had to do it. And guess what? If we didn't do it, guess what? They would go to the partner. Justin didn't do this. He didn't do this. He told me this. Justin told me this. And guess who they believed every single time?
The client, every time.
Of course.
Yeah, the client's always right.
Again, by the way, fuck you for that. Seriously, fuck you for that. Okay? I can say it now. Like, fuck you. Like, I'm an angry person. I need to say, I'm working on that in therapy. So hopefully when we do more of these, I won't be as angry. But I'm still because I know people are there, like my girls and my guys. Like, you know who you are. Like, I love you and I miss you, and I hope that this can inspire you guys to, try to shake it up this coming this coming spring. Suck it up this year. There's really not much you can do unless you guys are going to strike, right? That'd be pretty interesting, right? Maybe we'll just start this whole walkout. Let's do it on social media. We'll do a walkout, right? Seniors, Big Four accountant's got like 100,000 followers. Let's reach out. We'll do a walkout on March 10th.
I like it. No. I like it. Let's do it. No, let's do it.
You know what? That's going to get your attention. I bet you guys are going to start looking at this shit now, because 2 things have to happen. You either need to fire the clients that are not productive or get more money from them. And you know what else you do? You scale back. Stop worrying about the Crane's top 10. You're not efficient. You're not utilizing. You're not bringing in the dollars. You're just buying other firms and pretending like this place is fun. And it's not. Guys, my Long Island people, he's in Texas. There's guys in California. There's people up north. It's all the same.
We're all saying the same.
We're together. Okay, we're together. Partners, you too. Okay? You too. You need to do something about it. You should just fucking walk out also, because they work even more. Like, and they don't even make that much money. Like, I'm going to make more money than all of them next year. And I'm in my fucking pajamas in my house waiting for my children to come home. Who's got it better than me? So, Innovation Committee. I'm not doing my work, and they call me in and they talk to me about my work, and we talk about senior manager and how that's not a possibility because of my work. Meanwhile, leading up to that, I would go through, everything to support it, right? And I had a very good argument, and they shot it down, including the OMP. Then they tell me about this selection I got for this committee. And I was like, what? Like, really? And they said it's a 6-week project that they were asking them because, I would have to get pulled for 6 weeks and I wouldn't be able to work on anything. And I had to work on this because this is the future of the firm, right? We're going to build a program with 6 pillars, and we're going to take 6 weeks, and we're going to take 6 of the best people, 10 of the best people, a couple of them I knew. And we talked independently after. That were selected, and all of us quit. From what I understand, nothing has happened with that committee since, because I think 2 or 3 people left. I know at least one, myself and maybe one other. And since then, who knows? Yeah. They were presented this thing. They were presented this opportunity for me, and they were asked to speak to me about it. And when they said if they thought it was going to be a possibility, they said no.
Are you kidding me?
No, I'm not. I'm not kidding you.
Jesus.
He said no. Right then and there, in that moment, these guys don't have the same goals in mind for me that I do. And they're not listening to me. They don't know what I want. They just care what they want. Okay. They wanted what they wanted. They wanted me to be a 480A expert, whatever the fuck that is. I don't even remember. Like, fiscal year. No, thank you. Like, don't we have experts for that stuff? Can't I just do the tax returns and the accounting, the stuff that needs to get done that we should get paid for because it sucks anyway? So these guys said no. And I remember thinking to myself, no, who the fuck are you? I'm a grown-ass man, bitch. You don't tell me what to do. Like, fuck that shit. Meanwhile, sitting there in that room, I already had the offer on the table. I had it on the table. It was done. Like, I was negotiating the back end. It was all worked out. We agreed. Everything was good. And then I just had to make a decision. And the reason why I was holding on to the decision was because I wanted to see if this committee, that's a real opportunity. Like, I'm going to have an opportunity.
That would be great.
To work with a national top 15-ish firm, 10, 12, whatever they were at that time, with the CEO of the firm, with some of the top, like, chief of staff. And and we're going to build this program to change this place. Fuck, that's cool.
Yeah, no, that sounds awesome, man.
It was awesome. Like, I'm not even overselling it. It was fucking awesome. And I felt like a champion being in the office and like being the guy that was selected, and like everyone, like, that was awesome. Like, that felt really good, even though I know most people just fucking hated me on it. So whatever. So I got
of course, man.
Felt like I shouldn't do it. I'm like, oh, I got to be here with my family and bill hours. And right?
You're abandoning your family by going over there.
So so they tell me no, and then we talk about my work, and then we talk about my career, my future, and whatever. Well, in that meeting, I'm like, I'm out of here. I was still navigating. The only reason why I didn't quit right then and there is because I didn't want to be a complete dick. I just wanted to make it seem like I was going to really think about it. I wasn't thinking about it at all. I was gone. The second you guys said no, I was gone. That was it. I was lucky enough to have an offer on the table too. And to be honest with you, even if I didn't, I might have still left. And I might have actually done something, about it, because I was thinking about going to the CEO, to be honest. But I didn't, because I was quitting. So I waited till that Monday and I quit. And of course, what did they do? Put the press on, right? How can we get you to stay? All of a sudden, I'm getting a raise. All of a sudden, I'm getting a raise. Oh, look at that. I think he says to me, he's like, let me ask you something seriously. I'm not saying it would happen, but if I go to Mr. CEO and I say, hey, we got to like double Justin's salary. And he was just saying it facetiously, right?
Yeah.
Would you stay? I looked him right in the eye. I said, no fucking way, man. You could triple it. You can pay me $1 million. I'm gone.
Yeah.
I'm gone. You guys aren't loyal to me.
Yeah.
You don't care about me.
Exactly.
You don't fucking care. Maybe you like me as a person and we're kind of buddies and and we've been through a lot, and there's a lot of, work. I mean, you're working closely with these people, but I got to, all due respect, guys, I was seeing you more than my kids and family. Fuck that shit. Not anymore. And I said, fuck, you know what, guys? That's it. I'm out. I quit on Monday. I went to this place. It was a complete fucking disaster. I'm going to try to fucking put you guys out of business soon. Maybe I'll be buying your book. You guys suck. All right. And what are you going to do about it? Nothing. You're not going to do shit about it, because we already have a pending legal matter that is still pending. Want to come after me? Let's go. Like, I'm totally ready for it, because fuck you too. All right. They promised me a bunch of shit. Never really happened. Didn't work out. They fired me and then tried to sue me, and then try to sue my clients. Even clients that they didn't have rights to. Now, let me explain something to you all, okay? This is where it gets good. You guys don't want to leave because you're afraid of getting sued, afraid of non-competes, afraid of anything, etc., okay? Let's talk about this for a second. First and foremost, they're not enforceable. They're not. They're not enforceable. You cannot get in trouble, okay? They might scare you, they might threaten you, but they can't do anything. Why is that? Because you're not technically soliciting, okay? You're leaving a firm and you're bringing people with you because they want you. They don't want the brand. They want you. So take advantage of that opportunity. The reason why you're not doing it is because you think they're going to sue you. They will. Ignore it. That's what I should have done. Honestly, I should have just taken it and thrown it in the fucking garbage. Well, what are you going to do? What are you going to do? It's not enforceable. Okay, the judges, the courts, they're sick of this shit in New York. They don't even look at it unless it's legitimate. Here's where you're going to get in trouble, guys, okay? You're thinking about quitting, going off on your own. You go into the system. You steal all the files. You steal all the contact information, right? You're going to pull it all out. You put it on your own server. You quit, you leave, and then you call them all up and you try to cake them. That's bullshit. That's illegal. You can't do that. You're going to get in trouble. I know people that have done that, and it's not going to be good. Okay. When you quit and you leave, and not only do you have relationships, right? I remember even when I left the last public accounting firm, they made it seem like they were doing me a favor by giving me the relationships, like giving me the clients, and I don't have to pay for them. That's what they said. Like, you know, you don't have to pay for these. And at the time I was like, oh, okay, thanks so much, guys. I appreciate it. Then I later learned that it's all bullshit. All of it's bullshit. So if I'm you right now, here's what I'm doing during tax season. All right. You don't want me to steal your clients because you guys are going to go for a little snooze, right? Everybody's going to be working until 2 o'clock in the morning, getting returns done. You know what you're not doing? Servicing your clients. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go service your clients because they're going to ask me questions. I already took one. That was easy. There's more coming. Because I know how to do the work in the back end, guys. And that's the model. Okay. That's what we were trying to build. So why don't we think about this for a second? Again, like it needs to change. All right. Seniors, partners who fucking hate their life, who just can't stand working with these millennials, right? These fucking millennials. Are they ever going to learn? Are these fucking millennials? Right. Okay. Right. Okay. So they're not going to change. They're not going to learn. They're not going to do your work. And they're just not. They're just going to keep rolling over. They're just going to keep attrition's going to just keep going. You think it's going to get easier for you? No, it's going to get harder for you because each and every one of you are being promised board seats and this, and you're a partner and you're a future leader of the firm. Yeah. Okay. Honestly, like look at yourself in the mirror as a 25-year-old, 26-year-old, 22-year-old. Okay. Look at these partners. Do you want to be them? Do you want to be them? Like, do you look at them and like, I want that guy's life. I want that girl's life. That looks awesome. When CPA Enterprises is this big fucking machine, you know what I'm going to do with my partners? I'm going to make sure that they're in the office 1 or 2 days a week. If that, they're going to have smiles on their faces every single day. They're going to be wearing flip-flops and they're going to be tan and they're going to be driving their Lamborghinis and or their seats, whatever they want to do. They're going to be going on vacation because when my staff see that, they're going to want that. How do I get that, Justin? How do I get there? Well, here it is. This is how we do it because we speak business language fluently. There is no other profession, none, in business that is important as what we do because we speak the language. The attorneys, I don't care you're smart, okay? Do a journal entry. Can you sit down and negotiate some kind of M&A deal based on a balance sheet and based on projections? Can you? You can pretend, but I have the details behind it so I know what's real and not. And it's not just me. Like I have a team behind me. I have an army. Not here literally, but I do. I have 5 professionals that I work with I'm like a general it's like almost like I'm a construction company, right? Like, you know, construction companies, even though I do have a small one, right? You get to work and then you sub it out. I'm doing the same thing. Like I'm doing literally the same thing, and it holds everybody accountable because everyone wants to get paid and it all goes through me. I tell every one of my clients the exact same thing. What I just said to you is no different than I say to my clients. And I just say, I'm the quarterback. It goes through me. All of it goes through me. And that's what I do. I went on a tangent. I don't know where we were, but, you know, that was essentially, you know, the whole, the lawsuits. So if you're in practice right now and you're in public, stop thinking about what clients you might want to be able to work with. Why not? Talk to them, plant seeds, whatever it is, do your style. Okay. I'm not saying solicit. I'm just saying, take care of yourself. Okay. Put yourself in opportunities that you want to be in, and don't be afraid to not only ask questions, but ask for help. Look, if you have this great relationship with a client that you like, you know, small, big, whatever, you know, maybe you want to work there, plant a seed, right? Maybe they can make you an offer. And if they're worried about, you know, XYZ company being pissed off, what's more important, your accountant or the future of your company? And do you have the balls and the confidence to sit there and sell that? Like I wouldn't, right? But you look at our boy Juan, swaggy P.
Oh yeah.
Sly, slick, and that's why I love
that guy's just going up, and anybody says something, he's just in it, man. You know, I was talking with a good friend of mine, Daniel. He works for Zero, and so he's kind of the Beck, and we were kind of talking about it a little bit, and he was like, "Yeah, man, Juan's out there just left and right throwing haymakers, you know, just like."
And he's landing them, and you're taking them, and you're falling down. He's 24, guys. Right, 25. Okay.
Yeah, 24, 25. Yeah, something like that. A lot younger than I am. I'll tell you that.
He's out there asking for what he wants. He has a good story that we talked about on his show. Like, you know, he asked for what he wants. Ask and demand. This is your life. Nobody lives your life but you. Nobody. You do. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
They don't care about you. Take
Mm-hmm.
care of yourself, your mental health. Okay? That is important. We are all fucked up. Every one of us. Okay? At that firm, we are fucked up together because we are in this incestual place of anxiety and stress and constant deadlines and just not a healthy environment. These places are not healthy. We can work from home, right? The big four, right? They have the check-ins on the desks, right? Like you got to check in and out, right? You got to get the desk. Like, wow, that sucks, right? Can you imagine being a director and every time you want to go to the office, you have to like call HR to get a desk? Like that sucks.
Yeah,
And
no,
I know that happens at Price.
No, thank you. That would no.
So you can do that, right? And if you're a partner, you're in the best position for that, right? And what am I saying? Go start your own consulting company. Go start your own consulting company, right? And go consult with the client because they want you to.
Mm-hmm.
You're not giving them enough. You're not. You're just not. You think you might be, but you're not. They want more. One of the last job I was at, the last W-2 I got, I had partnered with the first firm I was at with some buddies of mine. And you know, not to get into that story too much, which is a different day. Just to give you an example of the quality of work that this company was doing. I came in to do the bookkeeping. It was like a $30 million company, but they sold widgets that were used to be alive and people eat. Okay. That was kind of widgets.
Okay.
And it was a lot of cash and the purchase. Oh, listen, the margins weren't, the margins were what they were, but they were fairly thin for the most part. And it was a lot of cost of goods.
Mm-hmm.
All right. They were on, this was 2017.
Mm-hmm.
They were on QuickBooks version 2006. They also used an internal system that printed out reports from a program that the younger folk probably don't know. You and I know. It's called DOS. I'm not kidding. I know you're laughing. I'm not kidding.
Wow. $30 million a year, and they're using 06 QuickBooks.
Yeah, again, like it's there's a small, the margin's tight on that. I want to make that clear. Like it's not like they're grossing that and they're killing it, right? I mean, everyone's doing their thing. It's all cash for the most part, like a lot of cash.
Yeah.
And the way these books were set up, man, it was just journal entries. All my job was, as I say it out loud right now, like I'm thinking about it, and you were laughing at the 2006, the DOS. My job was to go into the 2006 QuickBooks and tie it out to the DOS program. That's what I did. I tied it out to the DOS program. I was taking the QuickBooks, the old version of QuickBooks, and tying it out to the DOS program. That's an issue, right? Then I was using the old version of QuickBooks. This firm was charging them, I think, like $30,000, $40,000 a year, something like that. They were providing a review, right? So there was a minimal level of assurance. How do you do a review on a set of books and records like that? Like, I'm just doing journal entries. That's it. And I'm tying out cash.
Yeah.
About cash. I'm in 2017 and I'm looking at the outstanding checklist, which isn't in, it's not in QuickBooks. You know why? Because we're paying the checks through DOS. So that's why I got to get those checks in there, right? I got to get that DOS shit into QuickBooks, right? This is 2006. So it's a 10-year fucking program. And there was 11 updates, but we're still going to, and we're not going to invest the $250 to get the new one. That doesn't make any sense.
Yeah. So
when I get the cash reconciliation, from the prior accountant, the prior bookkeeper who wasn't a CPA, I don't even think he had a fucking education. There were checks outstanding from 2008, 2009, 2010, 12, 13, probably footed down. If I remember, it was like $5,000, $6,000, $7,000, $8,000. It wasn't much considering the gross margin of the company. And I said, guys, like, we have checks outstanding from then. Like, let's clean this shit up. Oh yeah, that's Norm's responsibility. Okay, well, we're providing a review. Oh yeah, but it's below scope. It's immaterial. Like, just write it off. It's a check from 2008 for $10.
Yeah. Get
it off the goddamn ledger. I don't care if it's below scope. Like, and then you're doing a review. How do you provide assurance on a company that is legitimately, it was mostly cash, and those guys are stealing a shitload of money. There is no doubt in my mind. It is mostly cash for the whole thing. The owner of the business is down in Florida. He never came up, and he just let this place operate. And he's trusting this firm, thinking that they're looking out for him. They're not. Because I was there, and I know for a fact they're stealing. Like, without a doubt. Like, I see these guys operate. I was there once a week. Like, I was there all the time. The cash is flowing all over the place. And these guys are old school. You know, they're not, they're stealing without a doubt. But we're going to provide assurance on this and tie out insurance and prepaid. And we're going to give our client this whole big report just so he can see, you know what he was looking at? The only things he cared about were the margins. And there's something else. You know what I started doing? Because they started kind of challenging my work a little bit, and I was like, "Do you realize that this stuff doesn't make sense, right? Like you know, it doesn't make sense." Mm-hmm. So I'm doing and it's accrual. So like even when I think I got it right, like there's a haymaker that came in next month I didn't see coming. I was like, what the fuck is this? I got to look into this shit. What the hell? Where does this even come from, right? And then that's a whole day for all I know.
Yeah.
So I just started, I started cheating because honestly, it was like obnoxious. Like I just was sick of it. And I just figured, all right, they were actually upgrading to a new system. So I figured, let me just kind of like hang out until I get the new system. Cause I'm just wasting my time. You know, I feel like the client's money is being wasted also. But that's a different issue. And what was I going to say? So I lost my train of thought. I got a text message and I got distracted. Which happens to me sometimes. So with this client, right, with this opportunity, the system. So all he cares about is tying it out to a couple of schedules. Now I remember it was gross margin. The other schedule was a schedule that one of the internal guys used for like paying bills and stuff, and he likes to see what needs to be paid. I just started looking at that stuff and just tying it out. Like I just knew what they wanted to see. So I'm like, all right, well, that's what you want to see. I can make whatever I want. It's a journal entry. I'm using a 10-year-old program that has checks outstanding from 10 years prior. I have checks outstanding on this program that were literally there since the program was installed.
Wow.
Fucking, this is easy.
Yeah.
Whatever I want. It's a joke. I don't do that now. I would never do that. And I wish I didn't do it then. But honestly, like you guys are charging them $40,000 to do a review. Review of what? What are you reviewing?
Yeah.
Like, what the hell are you doing? Like, there's no possible way. You don't even know how to use QuickBooks. Like, I was on the phone with them, I don't know how to use QuickBooks. Okay. Good value-added services there, guys. You know? So, anyway, so that was that. So, look, you know, that was all part of it. I got fired. I got these lawsuits going on. I got this big story, too, with a former client, which is a completely different story. I uncovered fraud. I uncovered theft. There's a whole lot of shit going on here, and I haven't talked about any of this on camera yet. I haven't talked about any of this on video yet, and it's coming out. The story's coming out, guys. It's gonna come out. Mm-hmm. Everybody that was involved, fuck you. Okay. Thanks for backing me up. Thanks for your support. Now I'm here. It took a little while, but now I'm here, and I'm not going anywhere. Okay. So you're either with me or you're against me. Period. End of story. Okay. And if you're against me, I'm running right through you. It's not, I'm still pissed just because of what happened. And I actually might even cry a little bit. I'm not kidding. You know, it was tough, man. Like, and I had nobody, everyone, like everybody turned their back on me. Nobody. And the ones that said they cared, they didn't care. Yeah. They didn't care. I know you didn't care. You know what? Well, where you been? You cared? Have you called me? I ain't picking up your phone call now, so don't even try.
Yeah.
So you were gonna say something. I've been talking like crazy.
No. I was gonna say, man. I mean, I can imagine, you know, with going through some lawsuits, and then, you know, the people that had your back never did. You know, I mean,
don't worry, I'm winning. All of them, everyone. You know, I just made a lot of bad mistakes. Like I've just made mistakes, and I put the trust and effort into people, thinking that people cared, and they do care. It's just you care about yourself, and that's fine. That's fine.
Yeah.
But you know, I was your friend. We were colleagues. We were family. Where you been?
Yeah.
You don't fucking care. Okay? And that's fine. But I do. And that's why I was hurt. Because I do care. And that's not something I do anymore, because I've made a lot of mistakes and I've learned a lot of lessons. And I'm all in on social media. So I want to go back and touch on something real quick. Partners, you can do the same thing. Guys, quit. Quit unless you love it. Quit unless you love it. think about how your life outside of that place will look if you weren't there, and then make that happen. You can do it. You can outsource to India just like they do. You can outsource to North Dakota just like they do. Okay. You can answer emails just like they do. You can prepare tax returns. You can do it all from your house. I travel when I need to, and I don't when I don't. You ask me where am I located? I'm literally located on every single ping point on the entire planet Earth. Okay. And I work 24/7. Okay. I'm making money when I'm not working. And when I'm not making money and I'm not working, I'm marketing my brand and I'm promoting myself. That's today's marketing. The former firm I just was at, they were all proud of it. Everybody's posting it on social media. Oh, we're sponsoring the MLB winter meetings. Wow, the winter meetings. Woohoo! Like, who the fuck watches that except for me? Because I'm a big Met fan and I actually love the winter meetings, right?
Yeah.
But who's watching the winter meetings? And if you're trying to get eyeballs from prospects and clients, they're too busy to watch the winter meetings. And if they're watching the winter meetings, you know what they're doing? They're getting their content on SportsCenter to see what all the highlights were, or Bleacher Report, or Barstool, sending them push notifications. So they had a whole bunch of sponsorships, and I see their brand all over the place, and I'm thinking to myself, how much did that cost you?
You know, that's funny you say that. I was talking to the Paychecks rep here. She came by, we were kind of talking, and she was telling me, she's like, oh, I'm, you know, there's this company out in kind of south of where I'm at that's, you know, doing really well. I was like, okay, you know, that's, you know, good for them. I don't know why you're telling me. She's like, yeah, well, I see you, you know, you started posting on Instagram, and I see they post on social media every day. I'm like, oh, that's great. You know, and I go in there to look at it. These posts are literally just, do you need help with taxes? We can help. Call us now.
They can't. They're lying, because if they can just say that, they're not going to. You know what can help? Look for the people that are doing what I'm doing. All right? Look for them. Who is giving you the technical content for free? Okay? I'll give you all my secrets. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, that's the same thing. You know, I was talking with Will Lopez last episode over at
Advisorfy?
Advisorfy, yeah. And so we were talking about it. And
if I can, real quick, you, Will Lopez, Advisorfy, you're the reason why I made my S-Corp video. With all due respect, I didn't think yours was very good, and I made that in the nicest way possible. It's just, you're the reason why you're one of the reasons why I actually started all of this, because when I saw it, and I'm like, dude, I can do way better. And mine's not that good because I'm nervous, and I've done, you know, and it was a while ago. Really, it was August. But the goal for me was to capture the actual content of doing the forms. I felt that was important. I don't want to get paid for it because I feel like people can do it for free. And it's the S selections, the corporations, you can do it all. And that's what my video is for. So you do it yourself, okay? And that's important because lawyers would charge thousands of dollars, if not more. And I was one of them because I didn't even know you could do it yourself. I learned it on my own already after I paid a shitload of money from my PC to be formed, which is a different issue. But yeah, he's the reason why I did that video. So thank you for that. You know, he's way more. He's got a ton of shit out there too.
Yeah.
He's one of the guys, and him and CPA Strength. I know you. I see you liking my stuff on social, and I appreciate that. You guys are some of the guys I saw in the beginning of all this, and I've been looking at both of them particularly for a lot longer than I've been doing this. And you guys kind of just, you know, I can do this, and I can, if you guys can do it, right? And maybe there's opportunities for us to all collaborate. You know, it's all friendly competition, and I think it's good that we just kind of drive each other because we all have a common goal. We all want to work from home in our pajamas. So,
yeah, no, I mean, we were trying to change the industry, you know? I mean, that's something we really talked about, was just kind of how they don't get it, you know? These older generations don't get it. You know, with us, we're all about collaboration. We're all about, you know, there's proprietary information that if you go talk to one of these older CPAs or anything, you know, they're just like, well, no, that's going to cost you $200 an hour to talk to me, $350 an hour to talk to me if you have that question. Why? You know, so in my office, I'm in a little co-work.
Because they're insecure. Because they know they can't keep the client. They can't invest the time. They're insecure. Why? Because they're not going to be able to service the client. That's why you got to get paid up front, because you're not going to get paid long term. You're not. That's why you want money now. That's why I do that too. Like I only just started doing that because I've gotten burned. If I don't feel good about a prospect, I'm throwing out a fee for my time. And if they bite, well, then they're serious. And if they don't, well, I ain't going.
Me too. I got burned pretty bad. And now it's just I require payment up front for everything just because.
Well, Yeah, I get retainers and deposits now, and
Yeah.
that's one of the mistakes I made. That's why I got another small little lawsuit. That's a whole different story. You know what? Frank. GL errors. I want to So this other lawsuit I got going on, I'm suing a guy for like $1,600. Not a big deal, but it ended very, very badly. He had a big issue with my work product, and two things he didn't understand. He didn't understand that a dashboard on QuickBooks Online is not a function to use to operate your business unless you're updating it pretty much every hour, because there's all sorts of transactions that take place on both your credit card and bank account that affect your balance sheet and your P&L. That happens in a real time on the dashboard. It's real time, especially if you download it. It's all real time. So to have that managed and perfect, and that's how, is not only costly. I mean, it's just very costly, and really, honestly, it's not even worth it. It doesn't make any sense. But this knucklehead was actually running his business based on that. No wonder why he is having challenges. And then when he dove into my work and saw that his dashboard wasn't like it used to be, because it was close to being, more correct than it was, he felt like the other one was correct. That's fine. Whatever. It is what it is. Now your accounting's correct, and if your dashboard's messed up, that means your accounting was wrong. Whatever it is, all right? The balance sheet are all balances. So then he doesn't want to pay me. We get into a fight. He threatens to sue me. I sue him first. So I'm the plaintiff. He's the defendant. He's refusing to pay me, blah, blah, blah. I wrote it down because it's a really good content piece, and I'm going to share the whole thing, and I'm going to show you what fucking idiots are out there. This moron, okay, looked through my general ledger and told me I made all these mistakes. I put travel with professional fees. He put my fee with insurance. And I'm like, what? Like, what? No way. And I was actually a little insecure because I just started out. I'm like, oh my God, I fucked it up. Really? I would never do that. I'm like, wow, I'm a real idiot. Like, did I really do that? So when I go into the GL, he sends me, he said, that's what I'm going to share. So I'm going to share it with you guys. I got to figure it out, but it'll be up, sometime. He sent me the GL, and he printed out a bunch of pages, and he put notes, and he starred it, and he showed me all these mistakes. He's like, this is not right. This goes here. This goes here. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm flipping through it. I'm like, what the fuck? So then I'm looking at it. Okay. And I'm like, wait a second. The way the general ledger works is you have the opening account, right? So it's account 1000, and it's called travel expenses, right? So you have 1000, it's in bold, and it says travel expenses. And then you have all the activity below it, right? All the day, everything, whatever it is, all the activity, and then it foots down to the bottom, right? Travel expenses, account 1000. So you have the name of the account, the activity below it, and then the total. Name of the account, activity below it, total. This brain surgeon who loved to tell me all the time that he has a master's degree didn't always like to remind me that he has a master's degree. Dude, I have a master's degree. I have a okay, like, congratulations. Is it in accounting? Because obviously it's not doing you any good, at least in what we're doing together. Yeah. I want to frame. So you have the account number, the chart of account, right? And again, the activity is below. It's below. This brain surgeon was looking at the total, the first line, right, where I said, it's 1000, and it says the travel, and then the detail, and then the total. So he was looking at the top line and then going up. Let that sit for a minute.
Oh my God. Are you kidding me? No.
I'm not kidding you, because I'm going to show it to you. I have proof.
Oh my God.
I'm going to share it. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. Wow. And I'm looking at it, I'm like, you fucking idiot. Like, you're a fucking idiot.
Yeah.
Like, you're just a fucking idiot. And that's kind of crazy too, because that's how hard it is to actually show value in the accounting profession, right? This guy with a master's degree who thinks he's smarter than everyone else looks at his business activity. The most important thing in his life outside of his health is his business, because that's what funds his family to survive. And he can't even look at the reports properly to make decisions, or at least try to yell at his former accountant and refuse to pay for services, which he did. So you can't even frame out your argument properly, because you literally have no idea what you're talking about. You saw travel expenses, and then you looked up and you saw professional fees, and you thought that I put my professional fees in travel expenses. I'm not stupid. Like, really? Like, really? No. No, it's just, no, it doesn't, it's not. That's why we're here.
Yeah.
Right? That's why we're here. That's why we're disrupting. That's why we're pissing people off, because we can, number one.
Mm-hmm.
Number two, it's open on the table. It's here. So this could be a pretty important podcast. This could be a pretty important interview.
Mm-hmm.
And I have to imagine it's going to piss off a lot of people. And good.
Yeah. I mean, change isn't easy, and people are very resistant to it. And if they are resistant to it, well, they're not going to like it, and I know the big heads are getting mad because we're out here throwing all these ideas about how you can work on your own, and you can actually collaborate with other professionals. Why not? Why do you have to keep everything internally when you can just work with someone else? Like you said, you're the quarterback.
I pay people, man. Like, I'll charge a fee. Like, you just charge what's right. Like, and I was doing 2 engagements the other day. One of them I took from one of the firms, which I think they're finding out about today. I try to increase I went through the engagement letter. I'm like, oh, maybe I can get a little bit more. And I did this a lot. And I'm like, you know what? No, I'm worth this. I'm going to ask for it. And they accept. It's like, good. Thank you. That means a lot. Now it's time to get to work, right?
Mm-hmm.
Earning money is a lot different than making money. Mm-hmm. Anyone can make money, right? You can just go out and sell bullshit and make money, but did you earn it? Because earning it is more important than just making it. Mm-hmm. And that's what provides legacy. That's what Gary Vee talks about all the time, right? Long game, brand building. That's what it means. There's nothing I'm saying on any of these interviews or articles that I'm not willing to defend. I'm willing to debate all of it. And I'm happy to have a conversation with anyone and really change my mind. Mm-hmm. Tell me I'm wrong. Yeah. Change my mind. Change our minds. Tell me I'm wrong. Mm-hmm. Because if I am, I'm open to have a conversation about it, okay? And if we disagree, then we disagree. But that's why we have the opportunity to have our own companies and have our own firms. You guys can do it. They're not going to sue you. They're not. They're going to threaten to do it. They're not going to sue you. Do you want to know why? They can't afford it. They don't want to deal with it. It's not worth their time and energy. It's just not. And you can probably take 1 or 2 or 3, go start off on your own, form your own corporation, get yourself an S Corp, get yourself QuickBooks, get yourself a tax software, or do something similar like I did, right? Build a small little book of business. It's not that hard. Mm-hmm. If the fucking idiots that I worked with at my last job can do it, so can you. Because you're better than them, all right? Mm-hmm. They have a bunch of old people working in a little shop. They have no idea what they're doing, okay? And most people don't. The reason why these morons are able to get away with what they get away from is because all you guys, the good people, are stuck in these firms. Mm-hmm. You're not willing to leave. So that's why these box shop H&R fucking get you billions back, the biggest scam in American tax, get you billions back. Again, guys, interest-free loans to the people you hate the most. Trump, right? You hate, right? Obama, whatever. You're giving it to the IRS. Mm-hmm. Free.
That's something I preach every day. I've got friends and I've got people I talk to like, oh, I can't wait to get my refund. I'm like, you just gave the government a interest-free loan, right?
Why I'm going to charge? Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, and it's like, why would you not want that money throughout the year to be able to live more? Why are you so dependent on this big refund you're getting?
Because people think it's a good thing. Mm-hmm. Everyone says, oh, my guy gets me back this, my guy gets me back this. I just want to let everybody know, okay, real quick. If you wanted to pay 0 income tax, I can do that in 2 seconds. I ain't signing the return, but I'll prepare for you. It's your fucking return. I'll show it to you. I'll give you all sorts of deductions. I'll just make it up. You can do it. I've done it. Old firms, that's what we used to do. We used to call them first name specials. So it was like, Justin specials, they were called. You know what he would do? He would sit with a little piece of yellow paper and he would sit down with the client for about an hour, hour and a half, charge him about $1,000, $1,500. And he would sit there and go through things, right? And he would sell them different services or refinance a life insurance policy, right? Because we all get paid on those things. Mm-hmm. I'm cool with being transparent about that. But again, earn it, right? Like, don't just put it in somebody's face because you want to get money. Bullshit. Like, provide value. Like, if they need the life insurance and it makes sense for them to refinance, and that's great, then you should profit from that. You should profit from that relationship. Yeah. You built that relationship. Without you being that center of influence for the network, you wouldn't have gotten the opportunity. So you deserve to get money on that, but do it because it makes sense. We used to sit through I used to get it, and I used to get the file, right? So I get the prior year balance sheet, prior year income statement, and then I would get the current year Justin special report. He would essentially just back into cash, and based on his P&L he created. So he would back into cash based on the P&L he created, based on the meeting with his client. So how much money did you bring in? Let me see your December bank statement. Oh, well, how much do you think you spent? Okay, well, how much income tax do you want to pay? And he would just, and I would get these, right? I wish I had that stuff. That stuff I don't have. I wish I had that. That was good. That would have been good content. But like, you can see his notes. It's like he's crossing things off. Oh, this should be mud. This goes up. This goes down. He's changing cash. And you know what he gives it to me? He gives it to me. He's like, book the journal entry. I put in the file. I would put in the W-2s, the December 31st bank statement, which I just back into. I just built the journal entry, and I just backed into the bank statement to just tie out cash. So I have cash. So if anyone looks at it, I have December 31st bank statement, so I can tell you how much cash was there at the end of the year. And then I just balance the rest of it based on the profit or loss that was given to me by the client because they didn't want to pay for bookkeeping. I'm sure that still goes on.
Oh, yeah. No, you know what? It's funny you say that because at the old firm I was at, it was the partner. He was very notorious for doing that. We would call it his three initials. It'd be his three initials and then adjustment. It would be initials, adjustment. And so it was always, let's just arbitrary ABC adjustment. So you would look at the tax return and sometimes, I mean, I kid you not, there was one where it was one piece of paper that just said, there is no information. This is made up. and just, at the bottom, initials adjustment. I'm just like, okay.
Well, at least he's being honest. I mean, I guess that's, better than just trying to hide it.
Mind you, no, they didn't put that. We started doing that because it got so bad. It got so bad because prior year, well, look at prior year. Well, how come prior year, how come nothing matches? And so we were getting yelled at because nothing matched. And then you'd go back and start going through all the notes and everything and start and going through emails in their emails and going through the manager's emails and just like, okay, what's going on here? And then all of a sudden it's like, oh, wait, no. Oh, there was an adjustment here that you guys talked about, but that was never put in the file. That's why. And so you just spent 10 hours trying to figure out why there's this big adjustment to prepare a tax return you're going to charge $500 for.
What am I supposed to do about that? And then you yell at me?
And then you put your time down, and then all that time gets written off, and then I'm sorry. There was a couple instances where I used to work at where timesheets, I hate timesheets just because of the simple fact that those reports you pull from those, to me, they can be valuable, some of them, but you can't just be based just on what's going on there. And
you know what we used to do? Oh, so check this out. So, yes, and people used to hit the code all the time, right?
Yeah.
There was a client at one of the last firms I was at. It was a tax return, and it was a huge tax return. It was big time money too. And I don't know what we charged. I think we did an audit and tax return. And honestly, I didn't see a lot of the cash, but I knew kind of what it was because I knew what was going on the other side. There were codes in the timesheets because everything was transparent. So I can go into the Elite billing system and I can look at everybody because I did it all the time because I always wanted to know what my staff were doing, number one. And I always wanted to see what my peers were doing because I felt like it gave me an advantage in terms of negotiating my career. And I wanted to know that because I wanted to know, I wanted to know it. And I found that there were a lot of dump accounts. So, and I know this for a fact. And I know people that have done this. I discovered this one kind of on my own, but I know people do this for a fact. They find a little loophole in the system. They find a client code that doesn't get looked at, and it gets billable charged, but then it just sits there and whipped forever, and it just gets hidden. Because guess who else doesn't know how to do accounting? The accounting firms. They don't know how to do it either. They have the internal accounting team. They have no fucking idea what they're doing. They're the same people. They're the bookkeepers. They're the same fucking people, and they have no idea how to do it. I'm not gonna
lie to you. We used to do that. There was a few clients that you could just, if you needed time, you knew you could put your time to them, and you never got penalized for it or nothing.
Never. And I mean, look, honestly, I would be surprised if there's some people hanging out in the big four under the radar still getting paid and just hitting that code, right? Just kind of disappeared.
Yeah.
There's probably there's a lot of smart people out there. And, and I know these firms got tremendous, even the people that run it, And if you think for 1 second you're the smartest person in the room, you got another thing coming because there's probably 5 people in each firm that I'm just guessing that like found a way to like, hey, I'm still getting paid from this place. This is great. All I gotta do is just keep hitting my time code to this imaginary thing, and maybe they'll figure it out. Maybe they won't, because when you're talking to that many dollars, again, everyone, it's all about efficiency. It's all about speed, but it's got to be good. It's got to be garbage in, garbage out, and it's got to be reverse.
There, one of the prior firm I worked at before that, there was somebody that actually, there was a client that you could put your code to. They had no project to it, but you could put your time to it. And so I think they finally decided to run a report on that client, and it was just an ungodly amount. Everybody was just half hour, 2 hours, 3 hours. It's just, what project are you putting it to?
And not even that. Then you leave, and then who cares?
What are they going to do?
What are they going to do? I mean, you're only staying 2 to 3 years anyway.
Yeah.
I mean, that's all you're staying. And if you stay more than 5, that means you're stuck, or you have a better plan in place, because that's what you should do too. And just a little advice to people, like, unfortunately, guys, the young people, the 21, 22 years old, unless you're some kind of, I don't know, like business savant or prodigy, and I'm sure they're out there, you're going to have to go, eat shit for a little while. Like, you're just going to have to get the calluses. You just got to go. But go in there with the expectation that you're going to leave. Yeah. Right? Go in there with a very clear focus and goal on what industry you want to think about, right? Unless you want to be partner at a Big Four, which do you know anyone who wants to be partner? Like, I mean, that really wants to be partner.
So
like,
I have a colleague of mine that, we went to school together, and that was his goal in life, is I want to be, and I think he's, if I remember correct, I think he's still there. I think he's up to senior manager now. And so, and I'm like, hey, you do it. But I'll tell you this, man. I have an uncle who was a partner at one of the big, not the Big Four, but one of the top 15 firms in the nation or whatever. And he was the head partner for here in the city. And smart guy, very smart guy. It's just he never saw his kids, never saw his family. And that's just the kind of general theme. And when you go into it, when I first got hired, that's what they told me. They're like, hey, we're going to require a little bit of time from you from tax season, 50 hours maybe max. And, you get in there, it's 80, 90 hours. You're sitting there 2, 3, like you said, 2, 3 in the morning. And, there was times where I'd be done with, I had no more work on my desk.
Oh, you're getting more work. There's plenty of work to do.
But the manager.
Don't say you're available.
Yeah.
Don't say you're available.
The manager would hoard. The manager would hoard work because nobody touched his people, and we weren't allowed to leave unless he was gone. So tell me why. There was one night I was there till 3 a.m. because I did that. I left. I was like, I'm done with work, and I left. And the next morning I got reamed.
Oh, I bet.
Reamed. I mean, and to the point where I think they took a portion of my bonus away because of it. Because why would I have the audacity to leave if the manager's still there? He's the general. He's there doing it. Why aren't you supporting him?
Isn't this America? Like, does this fly in any other industry?
No.
Like, what the fuck?
No.
Like, you're going to go to a doctor that's licensed, right? You're going to go to a lawyer that's licensed. You're going to go to a fucking mechanic that's licensed. You're going to go to a hairdresser that's licensed. Tell me anyone who's gotten a haircut that didn't see the little license sitting right there on the desk, right? Whether it's male, I don't know if the females have it with the salons. I'm sure they do, but I know at least when I go to the barber and get my haircut, every single one of them's got their license there. Every single one of them. But you're telling me if you sat down and didn't see a license, would you get a haircut? Because I wouldn't. I certainly wouldn't. So why the hell are you going to H&R Block to get your fucking tax return done? Stupid.
Now, I will say this. For me personally, I'm still working on getting that exam. I've got a lot of test anxiety. I'll be up front with it. And so, trying to get it. But,
You have any passed?
Last one I missed with a 74.
All right. Just stay with it.
Yeah. So that's on the to-do by this year. But do
you have you should put a plan, like whatever, everyone's different. Like, I don't, my story is on, if anyone wants, my story is on, I just posted it yesterday or the day before, just this week, and my whole story is there, and I'm not going to get into it because it's there. But yeah, I mean, it took me 2.5 years, man. It took me a long time. And my middle job when I was still in Long Island, that's when I passed, and that's when they supported me. But you got to be disciplined, and whatever you, like I said in the post, some people can just fucking take it all summer, pass all four, and be done. But most people don't, and the testings you're gonna get a lot of 74s, man. The fucking 74s I got, and you just feel like, man, am I ever gonna pass this?
Yeah.
But you got to be disciplined. You just turn the computer off. Turn the phone off. No distractions, no social media. And I'm telling you right now, if you start doing that, you're failing. Just know when you do that, if you're going to check your social, your IG, you're going to like get distracted while you're in the library studying, just know I'm going to fail. Every time you do that, tell yourself, now I'm going to fail. Now I'm going to fail. Now I'm going to fail, because you're going to, because you're not focusing and you're not looking at the like I said it on my post, like there was subject I'd hide from because I didn't know how to do it. Got me every time. Everyone, you get that diagnostic and you see where you failed, where you did the worst in, and it was like the governmental on FAR. That was my Achilles heel, was the governmental stuff on FAR. And FAR was like, I don't know what it is now. It was 9 chapters back when I took it.
Yeah, I haven't taken that one in a while, but
that I did. I took that one 4 times, man. I'm not kidding you. I took it 4 times, and everyone I took at least once. And I'm pretty sure that they passed me at the end too, by the way. I just got a 75 on BEC. That was my last one. And I had taken that one before. That's actually the only one I really passed on the first go. I had taken it before, but I only took it because I was losing the CTS. And I didn't want to, somebody had told me that if you don't show up for a CTS that they cancel you. And I didn't know if that was true or not. I didn't really want to chance it. I couldn't find out the information. So I just said, okay. I went in, I answered all C, and I got a 22. Seriously. And then I took that one and I passed it, but I'm pretty sure they passed me because I was losing audit later that month, and they probably saw the amount of money I paid them, or maybe they didn't, who knows, but I'm pretty sure it's a scam anyway, because the people that grade these things are the most evil human beings on the planet, and even worse than some of the worst dictators, because they fuck with your brain and give you 74s. Like, just give me a 60. Just let me know. Like, what, you're going to give me 74? Like, you know how much crying I'm going to do right now? And I've gotten 3 in a row, man. Like, seriously, like, give me a break, man. Like,
what's one extra point? I'm right.
Well, nothing's free. You got to work for it. But, like, then just show me a 70. Don't give me the 74. Either give me the right. And if I didn't pass because I didn't deserve it, then show me that just give me the 70.
Yeah, no, I agree with you on that, man. And that's something, like I said, I've got, on the to-do list this year, but I do agree with you on that. That's something.
Let me ask you something. What are you struggling with the most? Why is this a challenge for you?
Why is it a challenge for me? I will say, you know what? Getting distracted. I have a hard time focusing, and that honestly, that's what it comes down to.
What else? I mean, you do this. What else you do? Like, how do you get paid? What else do you do day to day? Like, you have side.
No, this is it. Did this. I am.
You have no excuse.
No, I know. Well, I know. Trust me, I know. I am the I guess the primary parent for my 1-year-old, because my wife works full time.
I understand.
She's got a pretty long commute, so that kind of But to be honest with you, there really is no excuse. And I'll be real. We're being real here. I dicked around a lot when I was younger. I dicked around. I kind of just thought I can do what I did in college.
Not with that exam, right? Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
Because that's a really good point. I'm glad you said that, because I used to think that, like, I used to get away with this shit in college. You can't get away with that stuff, man. Like, they're gonna get you. Like, you used to get away with that stuff, and it's like they build that test through an algorithm, and if they see a weakness, they're gonna keep hitting you with that weakness. They know. They change those parts, man. And I want to leave. I don't know how much more time you have. It's.
I got plenty of. I've got to call at 4. So if you got time,
for where? What does that mean? Oh,
I'm sorry, 4 p.m. on my time. So I guess here I got probably another 45 minutes.
All right, that's some good content for you. My one of my old buddies at my old my old firm. Actually, 2 guys there. Both of them passed later in life. I think they were both well into their 40s. Maybe one guy was like early 40s. The other guy was definitely mid 40s. They had 2 kids. Both of them had 2 kids, and they passed. They did it. Like, honestly, kids and CPA exam. I don't know. That's got to be one of the biggest accomplishments because I just think about what I had to do with no kids. Like I couldn't just shut down from 6 to 10 and every day, Monday through Friday and weekends 9 to 5. And if I had kids, that's tough. Right. And good luck studying with kids. You got a 1-year-old.
Yeah. That's I mean, my study time, 9-10 PM to probably about 2 when she wakes up.
Yeah, that's tough though. That's a hard time to retain.
And then I have to wake up with her because, my poor wife, she's working full time. So I can't ask her to get up and do it. I'm the one that kind of makes my own schedule. So it's just like, at the end of the day, it's all excuses.
Well, that's the thing. If you're making your own schedule, then you are in full control and you're scared, brother. Like,
I'm not gonna lie to you. Yeah, I am. I've taken enough L's, but something I did realize when I went out on my own and started doing this is I have to sell twice as hard because I don't have that certification.
Yes.
I have the experience. I have the know-how. But, it has hindered me. It
only matters when you don't have it. It only
Exactly.
matters when you don't have it. Don't have it and talk to my man here, man. He understands it, right? I mean, he's got the kid and he knows how it impacts his life. I knew how it impacted mine. And be honestly, one of the main reasons why I did it, not really main reasons, but one of like the big little kicks that I got that made me do it. I was sick of answering on interviews why I don't have my exam. Like I was just like, oh my God, I'm so fucking, because everybody interviews all the time. Like you're always looking out there, right? When headphones are a dime a dozen. And there's tons of opportunity because the talent pool sucks. Yeah, man, that's yeah. So
it's something I to this day, and
you'll do it. You'll do it. I mean, you want to do it. And what do you have? 18 months, right? Did you pass one? Is it 18 months or right? So you got that's just start. So you got one, then you got 3 and 18 months. That's how I used to think about it, right? The clock starts when I pass the one, which means I got 18 months to pass the other 3. And commit 2 years.
Yeah.
It's going to take you 2 years.
Yeah.
Just
for sure. Yeah. That's it's on my to-do list this year because like I said, it has kind of hindered me some, and some people, because I don't have it, sometimes try to not take me too serious. But what kind of cracks me up, it's like, I know more than you, man. I'm better at this than you. And, and so.
I can relate. And I don't, it's kind of weird to say it because I feel the same way because I don't think people took me seriously because I'm kind of a character and, people think I'm like a pretty face or something. And I'm just a fast talker and I have this interpersonal swag and like, I'm just a salesperson and I am all of those things, but I have to know what I'm doing. So if you're going to look at me as a judgment on what I look like, right? How I act, my mannerisms, right? The fact that I'm loud and obnoxious and funny and adorable and all these things that, might lead to me not being a certified public accountant that knows his shit. But I got news for you. I do. And I'm not any of that stuff. And you underestimated me. And that's great because I'm happy you did because that put me to where I am now. So I appreciate that. All my former people, I appreciate every one of you for not believing in me because here I am on the second best podcast on accounting content in the country.
Yep.
I just, I don't know what CPA prime time, but I want to go real quick, unless you had anything.
No, I mean, I just,
just spitball.
Yeah.
So, just in terms of horror stories, right? Like I just wanted 2 things. One, I want to piggyback on what you said before, because my first job was one of those too, when I got in trouble. 2 times I got in trouble for not working. One time I was working on a project on a client. It was an audit and it was in the city. And it was somewhere, it was on the other side of the city from the office. And we were working late and one of the managers wanted me to come back to the office to do more work. And I didn't want to because I was tired and I didn't handle it very well. Or maybe I did. I think I handled it just fine in terms of what I wanted. It just, you didn't like the fact that I was trying to defend myself and get what I felt was right. And it was me going home and relaxing because I was tired and I didn't want to come back to the office. And we had a deadline. Oh my God, we had a deadline. It's non-movable. All of these deadlines are negotiable, even the fucking tax deadlines. Okay. So don't give me that shit deadline. It's just, you don't know how to do your job because all you know how to do is overpromise. You overpromise and then you are afraid to under-deliver, so then you blame me or your staff because you do not know how to provide management services to your team and client services to your clients. So you overpromise, and then you all of a sudden increase the bill, whatever it might be. So I had an issue with this person, and it wasn't really good. And this is also in my little content that I'm going to share. This was in my review, my very last review. They told me to apologize for the way I acted and my behaviors, and I have proof. I have it. You should go and apologize to this person and tell them that you didn't handle it properly, and that, dude, I have it in text.
Wow.
Like, you're gonna see it. Like,
yeah,
I'm gonna show it to you. And again, I'm protecting all the knuckleheads. But
yeah.
And I was when I was reading it the other day, going through it, I'm like, what? Like, that's right. They said that. They wanted me to go apologize to her and sit down. I don't remember if I did. I think I did. Like, I'm pretty sure I did, because you want to be a good soldier. And I said I would handle it differently. I didn't fucking mean a word of it. And it was all because I didn't want to work anymore, and I was tired, and I didn't really feel like I could provide value or be efficient. And you just wanted to treat me like a little slave, I guess, because that's the way you were treated when you were a junior. Like, people would just tell you to do things. Well, that's why I'm smarter than you, because we don't take shit. Okay. You think that's the way the model worked because that's how you saw, like, the people in their 40s, right? Like, they're the people that just kind of, like, they're like in that little limbo, right? Like, they think that this was the way to do things, but now they're seeing, like, our generation, right? Because we're all in that, we're changing the game. Sucks to be you. Like, anybody who's a partner, like, you know, late 30s, early 40s, 45, right? That sucks. Like, I feel bad for you guys more than anything. Like, because I know a bunch of guys in my old firm, because they are stuck beyond stuck. Like, unless you got balls to go take one of your clients or go take a consulting position with some of your clients, right? Which you don't have the balls to do. Do it. Just fucking do it. Nothing's going to happen. I promise you. I'm here. I'm proof. Okay. So it doesn't matter how big the firm is either. It's all the same shit. Real quick, as I was being sued for non-solicitation, you know what else I did? I did all our research. Okay, I got a lot of cases, and I see tons of firms that I knew, all of them engaged with these cases, and they all get thrown out. You know, I didn't want to work, and I didn't work. And like I said, like, those 40-year-olds, they just can't adapt to it, right? Because they don't even speak the same language that the millennials, and they think the baby boomers know what the fuck they're talking about. And they did for a while, but it just doesn't work that way anymore. Nobody cares that you get referral business through other referrals. Nobody gives a shit. Okay, are you out there? Brand, right? Personal brand. Corporate brand don't mean nothing no more. Okay, unless you're building a corporate brand that attaches to people's likes and wants and values and principles, right? Just being a PricewaterhouseCoopers, what does that mean exactly? What does it mean? Like, when you're on the New York Mets, whether you're the second baseman or you're the bat boy, you're on the team.
Yeah, you're a Met.
Guess what happens when they win the championship? I cry like a baby, number one. And number two, everybody gets a ring. Everybody gets a ring. I think the lower staff gets smaller rings. They don't get, like, the bling bling, but they all get rings.
You know, the Astros gave us imitation rings when we won, and so I cried. I'm not going to lie to you. And I actually got the imitation ring here somewhere in the office, and I posted for everybody to see that comes in.
That is awesome.
We won.
That is awesome. And it's interesting because when the Giants won, the New York Giants, the Super Bowl, I was actually there. It was 2012, 14, I don't remember.
Yeah.
The reason why we were able to go is because my buddy Paulie had a really good relationship, and I think he still does, with a woman he worked at a hospital. He's a physical therapist, and her daughter worked for the Giants, and we were able to get face value tickets for $9.50, and we paid $9.50. And then they won, and we were sitting with a lot of the staff too. Like, we had hot seats, man. We got to go backstage at the Super Bowl party at the hotel where they were all staying at. And we were partying with Jason Pierre-Paul and who the fuck? I don't even. Jason Pierre-Paul.
That was Strahan. The year Strahan retired, right?
The year. So the first Super Bowl he won, then he retired.
That's right.
It was the second Super Bowl.
Okay.
We were back. Like, we were there. Like, I have pictures too. Like, it was like a wedding. Like we were at the game and then we got invited to the party afterwards. And we were in the room. The Giants just won the Super Bowl and we're there with all their friends and family and staff members. It was fucking amazing. There were tons of famous people.
Awesome.
You know what? Yeah, but we were shocked. Like I didn't even get to enjoy it. Like it sounds awesome, but it was a long ass day. It was the Super Bowl. We were drinking and it was late. And we had a long drive back because we were staying like 90 minutes outside of Indianapolis because that's the closest we can get. And we were shot. Like they were partying all night and like, wow, we're at the Super Bowl party. I want to go home. Like I'm just so dude, like there's nothing, you know, it's like, all right, at least we were here and it was fun. But I guess that's the point, right? That's the team and that's the camaraderie. And it doesn't exist. And that's why I'm not going to work at 10 o'clock at night back to the office because we have a deadline tomorrow. Okay?
You know, I want to say something about that before I forget is, you know, when I started working, I kept my mouth shut and I put my head down. I just worked. I was one of those that just took it and took it and took it and took it until finally I said enough is enough. You know, it's okay to stand up for yourself. I want people to know that. Like, it is okay to stand up for yourself. I'll be real with you. I was afraid to. You know, I didn't want to rustle any feathers. I didn't want anything. I was the good worker that just put his head down and worked and was miserable. And I would drive to work every morning and just, you know, Sunday night came across and it was just bad.
The mental health suffering that you must have had.
Oh, it got bad. I mean, my wife can tell you, she just, you know, the day I quit, it was, we went on vacation for Christmas and I came back and they wanted to take me out to lunch. I said, okay, you know, either they're giving me something or I'm getting fired. I was like, but either way, I'm putting in my 2 weeks, so I'm okay with it. You know, I don't care.
Had you done the 2 weeks already, or you were about to?
No, not yet. I was going to do it that day. I had already told one of my buddies, who was one of the managers. I told him, and he's just like, "Hey, man, do what you got to do." And I'm like, "Yeah, you know, thank you for supporting me." You know, so they two partners take me out, the two tax partners, and sit down. And they're talking about how they need more hours from me. My realization rate was low. And my realization rate was low because the review process was he would call me in there and I would sit next to him and he would review a return, take 3 or 4 hours to review a return, all while answering emails, answering phone or whatever. And I couldn't leave.
Oh, shit, you did wrong.
And I had to sit next to him. So a phone call would come in. It'd be an hour-long phone call and I couldn't leave the room. So it'd take me, you know, hour and a half to do a tax return, and then it would take me 2 hours to sit there and, you know, bill the time to him. My time got written off. Had 2 clients.
Or they say, by the way, you can't bill this time.
Yeah, and I'm supposed to eat it. You know, and then the worst part of it though was we had a client who racked up about 40 G's, I think, in AR, and they just decided to write it off because he wasn't going to pay. And who did all the work? Me. So who got hit with that? So every month it was why is your realization rate so low? Why is your realization rate so low? And it's just like, this is why. Oh, okay.
Why does your leadership suck? 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 Because you don't know what the fuck you're doing. That's why. And neither do I. Like, I don't either, okay? I'm just trying to figure it all out just like the rest of us, right? But I know I'm happier, and you're way happier.
Oh, my God. You have no idea. You know, it's funny because,
I actually do.
Well, no, actually, you do. Yeah, you're right. You do. Yeah, you do. I can say that about most people. Yeah, you get it. And it's just, you know, they take me to lunch, right? And they tell me all this, you know. When I first got hired there, they promised me an office. Never gave it to me. You know, wanted me to step it up, work more hours. They demanded more out of me, regardless of the fact that I was the one essentially doing everything for them. It didn't matter. On paper, it wasn't what they wanted to see, and they needed more out of me, right? Okay, I still remember this smug smile they had. Just, you know, we did such a good job. You know, we're the great leaders and everything. You know what I mean? You know what I'm talking about, right? Yeah.
I'm doing it right now.
Yeah. It's like, you know, so satisfied.
I'm so much better than you. You stupid little shit.
Exactly. And you know, and I sit there, and I mean, on a personal level, they're nice guys, but you know,
Yeah, you're right. And on that too, like I remember two things about one of my former bosses. One thing I know that he doesn't know, and something he used to say all the time, and it's a very common little like do as I say, not as I do kind of thing, right? Like, and that was kind of like his mantra. It was like a tongue-in-cheek kind of mantra, but he wasn't really kidding. I later found out that he also had lunch with a colleague of mine who I work very closely with now. He's a good friend. We've been making money together, and we've had some issues in our relationship. He's a financial guy, and a financial advisor, but he's legit. Like, he's not one of the little knuckleheads out there selling shit. I mean, he's got his own game, man. He's got his own thing. He's legit. And he had lunch with one of my former bosses, and they were talking about me, and my man was talking very highly of me. Maybe not very highly, maybe a little highly at the time. Yeah. I don't want to, Sal, I don't want anyone to get the wrong impression that we have some perfect relationship. I know. And too, I love you. And he's like, oh, Justin, this, that, and the other thing. And it's like, yeah, he's, I really like him. He's doing a good job, but I would never tell him that. Sal, right then and there, said to me, he's like, wow, this guy's a douche. Like, yeah. Say that to me, and it sounded like I talked about it, and like he told me about it, not right away. I don't think he told me about it until after I left, to be honest, because I don't blame him. Like, I don't know how you present that. Maybe he told me there. It doesn't really matter. He wound up telling me, and I'm like, are you kidding me? He's like, yeah, man. He's like, ever since then, I'm like, dude, this place is shot. Like, what the fuck, and he's seeing some of the sides too. But can you imagine? Like, this was the same place that told me that I wasn't allowed to do an innovation project with the CEO of the firm. Yeah. And now you're not going to tell me that you like me and I'm doing a good job? What is this, a game? What do you think? This is fucking funny to you guys? Like, you think my life is just some fucking kind of game and you can just tell me to do things and I'm just supposed to live with it and do it? Yeah. And you know what? I did. And you did too. Mm-hmm. You did too. Yeah. You did it too. And people are doing it now, and people are doing it as we speak, and people are going to be doing it as they're listening to this and watching this. And they're going to think, wow, these guys are incredible and they're an inspiration. And then there's going to be ones like, these guys are fucking idiots and have no idea what they're doing and need to stop cursing so much. And
a bunch of assholes talking out of their ass. And
you're saying things you shouldn't be saying, Justin, and you're doing things that you shouldn't be doing, Justin, and blah, blah, blah. Justin, listen, I'm 37 years old, and my boys, I've been boys with my boys for 25 plus years. And and they know I'm an ask for forgiveness, not a permission kind of guy. And none of that's changed. It's just now I got the chops, and now I got the business, and now I got the brand, and now I can just sit there and do it confidently and not have to worry about any consequences, because there are none. There are no consequences. It's only gain for me anyway. It's gain for me because I'm building my brand based around this. And you know what else? It's gain for the staff. It's gain for you guys, because you guys can do something about it. Using the example you just said before, right? I've been there. I was smiling. You're sitting there. They're on the phone. They look at the return. One of the auditors come in. One of the partners come in. You're just sitting there twiddling your dick because you have work to do. And you're like, I don't want to leave. Guess what, guys? Get up and walk out. Don't say shit. Who are they? They're not your parents. No. They don't own you. No. Your time is valuable, every single minute of it. And if you're not learning, right, or earning, okay, then you're wasting your time. And if people are wasting your time, that means they don't respect you. And if they don't respect you, that means they look at you as somebody that is beneath them or below them. And that is not cool in any profession. So the next time you're in a position where you are sitting in the office, right? Just get up and walk out. What are they going to do? Oh, why'd you leave? Because you're on the phone. Like, I got work to do. Like, are we going to go over shit or not? Like, I put it in your schedule. Like, it's in your schedule. You told me to put it in your calendar, and now you're getting distracted. I do that all the time here, but it's just me. And the people that rely on me are getting taken care of. Yeah. You're sitting here because the reason why I'm sitting here for 2 hours, right, when it should take 45 minutes, is because you need something. You're not teaching me anything. You need something. You need me to do something, and now you need to hold me hostage, because what you need me to do needs to be done, and perhaps you aren't going to have time to get it done with me later. So you hold me hostage to make sure that I'm there. And guess what else we have to do? Stay late to get the work done. Walk out. Do it. You know what else is not going to matter? Even if you walk out and they get pissed, dude, there's going to be 25 firms just lining up to grab you. the only ones that are quitting during tax season. You quitting during December. Oh, burning bridge. Fuck you. They're all going to merge, Jose. They're all going to merge.
Yeah,
It's not sustainable. They're all going to merge. We're going to go back to a big 8 mentality.
That's what they're all doing right now. I mean, I see that all the time. You know, oh, this firm bought this firm. This firm bought this firm. I'm not going to buy that old ass firm.
No, it's going to get. I'm saying on a broad. I'm not saying.
Oh, you're talking about the big scale.
Yeah, listen. It's just my opinion, and I'm just looking through. I'm like, predicting the future, right? Do I have any data or no? All I have is I just have a gut, and I'm just looking at the way it is, right? Okay.
Yeah.
I know for a fact these firms are putting in marketing dollars on the television when that is definitely misguided, especially when you're doing it for the first time in 2018. Okay, that's number one, right? Number two, all of your people, right, that are doing this stuff, they're doing it as a copy and paste, like a reshare, right? Like, you think that's sexy? Like, that's not sexy. All of you guys are doing that. So you're not building the brand, right? You're just sharing some. This is my favorite. One of the firms I used to work at, they do this all the time. They take a Wall Street Journal article, right? They put their logo on it, and they say, check out this new article regarding tax reform from Wall Street Journal. Ask us how we can help.
Yeah, I see that all the time.
Did you read my article? Did you read my boy Timur and his tax reform for hipsters book? And I'm not saying you did. He's a guy I had, lunch with on fucking Instagram. Like, I'm meeting way better professionals and qualified people on Instagram than I've ever met. That's tax reform, right? That's the stuff you want to read. That's the stuff that's important. And that's the stuff that you give to your clients.
Is that the book you have back there?
What's that?
Is that the book you have back there?
All right, so Timur, I've read most of it. I don't read, first of all. Okay, so this is it. I bought this for nostalgia purposes. Because Timur and I had a really good meeting, and we definitely support each other on social. And he's a really cool guy, and we do a lot of good work together. It's basic. Look, it's for two people, right? And I have to finish it, and I listen it on audio. I don't read it. That's for nostalgia, and I have it on audio. It's available on Amazon. I think the audio was like $5, and the paperback is like $8-9. And look, anyone watching this, go support him, man. Like, he's on my stuff. You can find him. It's pretty good, and it's for two people. I think it's good for me. I actually enjoyed it because it was kind of some refreshers. And there's certain things like Unicap I'm not so good with, and like, some other like things that I don't really know. I can't really spitball it that much. So we kind of talked about some of that. And it's a really good synopsis of tax reform. I just don't understand the hipster part to it. Maybe that gets a little bit down the line, but so far I think it's really good for guys like you and me to kind of get a little feeler, and it's a quick read. It's a 2.5-hour Audible, which you can do easily in a car ride or 2 days. I mean, it's a piece of cake. But I think it's also good for the layperson, just to get an idea. Not so much, business owner. I don't think it's good for business owners. I don't really think it's good for any kind of other professional that's not just like the layperson, because it's digestible. And at least on the audio, he got a good actor, and he got a really good, it sounds great, and it's soothing, and it's a little bit relaxing. And it's tax reform, so if you need a little bedtime story, you put it on, and you're gonna go right to sleep, right? And luckily the guy sounds good. But look, I give him a lot of credit. The book is fine. The app, he has an app. It's the same thing. It's really sick, actually. So what he did was he built an app, and on the app he has every country in the world and some snippet on their tax structures, how they do income tax, right? Like America, we file 1040s, we have S corporations, we do flow throughs, et cetera, right? Pat tax, transfer taxing, talking about all of that, which ones have reciprocity, which ones don't, which one has, what's the other word I'm looking for? I don't remember. Partnerships with different countries and how it works. And it's really, really good. Like, I saw it, I'm like, oh, this is sexy. And we're accounting nerds, right? And that's only sexy because it's us. But for us, it's a resource. You know what that is? I don't have to go to big corporate America and ask for some foreign income tax resource, which I used to have to do with former firms. You get a foreign issue, you just went right to that guy, right to that one guy, right to that one every single time. And if he's busy, who knows when you're going to get an answer? This is at least digestible. It's a first blush. And at least it's probably enough information that'll get you to the point where you can Google it. At least you'll have some buzzwords that they use in that country or something like that. And I got to digest it more. I definitely recommend it, for any professional, for sure. And it's a quick read, and it's just nice to support your fellow people. Like, not a lot of guys have books out there. I can't wait for JJ, the CPA's book, by the way. I can't wait for that.
Yeah, I saw that. So I just started following him too.
You got to do some, JJ, if you see this, listen, you got to do some mixtals on your little slogans. Like he did one, I guess he has them. Like, listen, I wasn't into him in the beginning, but now that he's doing it all the time, like, I think they're really cool. Like, they're really good motivational things, and it's all him, right? So it's his brain. He's got his little pocket. I'm
a little cigar in the pocket and everything. And
you ain't gonna see me looking like that, at least not anymore, and it's just never gonna happen. But I think it's cool. And honestly, like, if you ever, I want to put some up because I like doing this. Like, I like having all this stuff back here. I usually have my logo on the screen, but I didn't do that today. But because these are my people, like, these are some of my clients, these are some of my friends, you know, like, this is my, you know, my family's police officers, and, you know, it's my buddy Sean, who's a tattoo artist, and he's out in California and he's crushing it. And I bought, and I'm just supporting people that I like, and I want to, because I want them to support me too, of course, but you know, that's fine if they don't. It's okay. I mean, Gary Vee says it all the time, right? Like, I don't care if you ever buy anything. I don't care if you ever give me a cent. I don't care. And that's you know, all that stuff is true. But if you're gonna pay someone to do it, then you might as well pay me, right? He says on his sneakers, like, I don't want you to buy them. I don't want you to spend your money. I don't want any of that, right? But if you're gonna buy a pair of sneakers anyway, you might as well buy them from me. And that's what the brand is, right? I mean, that's what you're trying to build. And that's what I build. And I don't, none of these firms are doing that. They're not doing it, not even close. You're regurgitating information. You're recycling information. You're not providing your clients with anything, because what you just said before, Jose, you're giving it away as proprietary. Get paid for that. Well, I'm giving it away for free. So
we're out here just throwing it out. Yeah, and we're giving that stuff for free. And I mean, why keep it? Just with a quick Google search, they can find the answer as well. So why not just have it come from you?
You didn't invent it.
Exactly.
And the only reason why you know it is because you had years of service and hours. Okay. The only reason why your seniors and managers, right, when you were in practice, and I was too, was better than me, because you had hours and years, and you have the same level of expectation on me day one, and you're at day 470 or 3,050. And you just, because the partners were the same way, right? They didn't fuck. They thought training the senior managers was going to be good enough. Well, not so much, right? And in my opinion on this is this is why this industry is not sustainable, right? Let's just call it what it is. It's going to implode. It's going to implode. Like, I talk to, you know, more established, seasoned, C-suite guys, like in their late 50s and 60s and stuff. We're all on the same page. We're on the same page. They're hiding because they're doing their own thing, right? They're not getting out. Like, I got guys that are, I mean, a few guys that I'm just waiting to, you know, show the world, and they're just old, and they just, you know, they don't understand this. Like, they don't see any of these things I do, because if they did, they'd probably be pretty pissed at me, because they're like, why are you saying that? Right? And I'm like, you want to change, man. Like, this is what you want to do, and this is my role in this, right? But they agree. Like, not only is this not sustainable, I think eventually they're all going to merge, and here's why. Here's my opinion on that. I know they got big balance sheet items for leasehold improvements and equipments, and probably accrued PTO time, and you know, partners capital. And I mean, look, at the end of the day, none of these firms are producing that much cash, right? Like, they're taking debts just like any other business, right? You're taking debts to finance your future, and that makes sense. But when you finance your future and you build like high tech stuff in your office, and you build all this fancy shit, and you make it all look cool and sexy, and man, does it look cool and sexy, right? Like, oh, wow, this is beautiful. Look at this place. Right? But then you kind of realize, like, wow, this cost a lot of money. And these assholes didn't give me a raise last year because you didn't have anything in the budget. And you think I give a flying fuck that we have a state-of-the-art office in the Manhattan office? State-of-the-art boardroom in the Manhattan office? Yeah. I got kids, motherfucker. I want money in my pocket, not your $50 Amazon gift card. Thanks for your service. Like, I want a bonus. I'm putting in 2,200 hours, and you built a fucking technology place in here like it matters. Yep. And you're gonna, oh, it's a good investment. We're gonna make money. Yeah, how's that working out for you, right?
Or you throw a Christmas party. They throw a Christmas party, and that's your bonus. That's what we got told one year.
And then pretend like everybody's friends, and then we're all getting wasted. Right? And then we're fucking each other, and then we're creating drama in the office. And I'm not saying you can't date in the office. I mean, that's great. I know a lot of people that met their loves of their life there, and I think that's incredible. But then it becomes high school and college again, because what happens is, it's like, remember they say, like, all the nerds in high school get better as they get older, right? And all the jocks become, but that layers, right? Like, the nerds in high school were some of the still nerds in college, right? And they were starting to become accountants and pass the exam fast, right? All of a sudden they're in the corporate world and they got money in their pocket and they got parties that are paid for and they got girls and guys and, you know, opportunity. And then they're a big city in New York, right? I mean, Austin's no snooze fest either. I mean, that's a great place to work and live. California. I mean, Manhattan though, let's be honest.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, it's Manhattan.
Look,
yeah.
And dude, I was out there for 5 years, man. There's no end of the night. Like, the end of the night is when you fall asleep. Like, this is Manhattan. It is 24/7. You can always find a party. And when you're out there partying and then everyone gets some in them, then you go and you bounce. And all of a sudden it's like, fuck, I got work the next day and it's 6 o'clock in the morning. And I'm just getting home. Dude, this is true story. This is an absolutely true story. I don't know if they still talk about this, and they probably all fucking hate me because I just shit on every one of them, but I'm sorry, guys. You know, it is what it is. I went out on a Friday night. We all went out on a Friday night, and I got boxed, man. Like, fucking, I was boxed. There was some we did this international program where, like, people from Australia would come work with us during our tax season, and then we would send people over to Australia, and they would work in their tax season. And I almost did that one year, but I never did it. That's another story. So, we went out and then we went back to like Hoboken or something where all the Australians were hanging. And then I wound up passing out there in my work clothes from Friday. Mm-hmm. And then they all woke up on Saturday when we had work and they left me there because I was snoring. And I was in Hoboken and I had no idea how to get back to the city. And all I had was the clothes that I wore from Friday. And it's not like I was expecting to go to the office in the same clothes that I was wearing the night before, stinking like booze, but I did. And I think people were happy about it because I had a couple of talking tos and I didn't smell very good. I certainly didn't look any good. And I'm not like, that's not a bad thing or a good thing. I mean, look, it's alcoholism. I don't drink alcohol anymore. I removed alcohol from my life 18 months ago. So I've been sober 18 months. And I certainly miss those party days. Don't get me wrong. There's a lot of it I miss, but I don't miss the hangovers. A lot changed for me when I quit drinking. Honestly, like a lot of this, what I'm doing, became the priority because I wasn't, you know, alcohol. Like I wasn't drunk. Like I wasn't like, you know, partying and hungover and like just the effects of alcohol. And look, I'm not like, whatever, it is what it is. Like, just for me, it changed my life. Like it changed my life for the better. And it just, I wasn't self-medicating with alcohol anymore. You know, I was working on my mental health in other ways, because that environment, you know, not only it wasn't available anymore. Right. I mean, that just is what it is. I showed up the next day. You know, that was probably the beginning of the end for me too, for all I know. Right. Like, I mean, I was probably screwed before I even got started. And this was in my reviews. Like I was the social guy, right? I was planning all the parties and you know, fun stuff and the beer pong tournaments. I actually, you know, it's all great, fun stuff. But going back to what the reason why we brought this topic up is that it doesn't fucking compensate me for my time that I spend here. Nope. I don't want this. All right. Let me go home at 5 so I can see my son. Okay. Pay me an extra $500 a year. Pay me an extra $4,000, whatever it is. Right. Mm-hmm. But then you're going to advertise and use my money for your benefit and you're not growing. None of them really are. That's why I think they're going to merge. Mm-hmm. So if I'm predicting the future, if I'm a young partner in a firm, I'm getting the fuck out of there ASAP, especially if I'm in a smaller firm, because they're going to get gobbled up in a second. Once that happens, you're going to get bought because they cannot sustain the debt they have on their balance sheet because you're not getting the work done. Okay. And you have the same people in your place or they're turning over every 3 years or 2 years. And that's not sustainable either. Like none of it is because it's going to implode. And I think once these guys start kind of thinking about it, and look, I could be wrong. It's not like I'm at these fucking boardrooms, but I mean, when you watch Instagram and the Big Four accountant and all these another 74, the fact that everybody is complaining and bitching and literally hating their lives, right? Jose, Juan, Justin, right? 3 really good looking Spanish dudes. I'm just kidding. Right. So, I was going to let that one sit for a minute, but I didn't know if you were going to resonate with it. So I want to make sure you got it. Like, you know, we see it and we're watching that. and we're on the other side telling them that they can do it, and they're going to do it. Like, they're going to do it. It's just a matter of time. And who knows, maybe this podcast will inspire a fucking walkout in the middle of tax season. That would be sick. I mean, shit, they did it in high school, guys. Like, a whole high school fucking marched out. A whole country marched out for gun reform. Like, go march out for your fucking livelihood and your mental health and your kids and the
mental health is the most important thing, because you know that's what I had struggled with the most, was that.
Yeah, me too.
You know, and so that's something that I'm still to this day trying to kind of get a good handle on it and everything, because it wears you down, you know. Yeah. But I will say this, I do want to touch up on the fact that, you know, they took me out to lunch. I didn't get to finish that story.
Oh, please. Yeah, we got why don't we, you know what? Pause for a second. Why don't you start that story? We can then wrap it up, because it's about 10 to 5.
Okay.
So tell that story. I'll try to comment on it, and then we'll wrap it up.
Cool.
But I want to catch up with you again maybe this week, because I want to just kind of talk on the phone and just have like
I love to just kind of powwow you and me. You know what I mean? Like,
but I want to talk about this a little bit too, and I want to talk about, you know, maybe, you know, action stuff too, right? Like, this is great, cool. We're so freaking fancy doing podcasts and putting it out there. Big fucking deal. Honestly, big deal.
Yeah.
Like, great that it can inspire you, but big deal. Now we're gonna do something about it. So tell me your lunch story, please.
So lunch story. So they're sitting there and the smug smile, you know, and you did it perfectly earlier. Just that.
Yeah, I can't do it now. I can't do it. I was doing it
so it's a smug smile, right? And I'm just sitting there, and I'm just in my head thinking, you've got to be kidding me. You promised me this office 2 years ago, and you're giving it to me now as an incentive to work harder, you know? Okay. So I just sat there and I let them soak a little bit, you know. Very satisfied. They both look at each other and just like, okay. And I was like, oh yeah, there's something I need to talk to you guys about too. And they're like, well, what's up? I'm like, I'm putting in my 2 weeks. I'm getting out of here. Wow. What? This is exactly what one of them told me. You're fucking us. Why the fuck are you doing this to us? I was like, 'cause it's not about you. It's about me. What are you going to do? What's your plan?
None of your business.
Don't worry about it.
None of your business.
Don't worry about it. Like, I know I have a plan, and, you know, what are you gonna do? And, you know, I was like, at the time, like I said, personally, I liked them both. Professionally, they did nothing for my career.
I agree. Yeah, I'm the same. I'm in the same.
So I was like, you know, I guess I'm too nice of a guy. I was like, you know what, guys, I'll stick around and help you out during tax season. Maybe, you know, 15 hours, 2 days a week or something like that. And just like, yeah, we want that. And then I started thinking about it a little bit more, and I'm just like, you know what? No, I need out. I need 100% out. You know what I mean? And it was, and, you know, and they're just like sitting there, fuck, shit, whatever, you know, just looking at me like, you fucked us. What the fuck are we supposed to do? You fucked us. And I'm like,
I'm depressed, and I have anxiety, and I'm in therapy 3 days a week, and I'm on medication.
Exactly.
Because you're mind fucking me, and you're
exactly
mentally and emotionally abusing me. I mean, let's call it what it is.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, Hollywood has got all of this stuff coming out about these sexual harassments and this, that, and the other thing. And that's amazing that all that stuff is changing, and it's really good. I just saw, what's his name? What's the guy, Hell's Kitchen?
Gordon Ramsay.
Yeah, I just saw he put his hands on Sofia Vergara or something like that. Like, does Jay Leno have another show? Is he like back on TV?
Yeah, I think he has a show on Netflix.
Oh, is he? I don't know. I don't have time for that stuff. That's another thing, right? That's a Gary Vee thing. If you aren't happy with your life, stop binging on Netflix. I never watch TV. I have the Sports Center on here. I watch sports. I listen to things. I've tried to watch House of Cards. I just can't, because I'm just thinking about work. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just want to work. Like, I just want to work, and I'm loving it. But
it was the most satisfying thing in the world, you know. But yeah, like you said, you know, you're going to therapy, you're doing this, you know, there's mental health issues, and then they want to sit there and say that I fucked you. Come on now.
Abuse. It's abuse.
And so
like, you're abusing me.
And it's just like, I was like, okay.
And then one thing and then doing another, right? Feeling one thing and saying the opposite for your own gain, it's abuse. It's manipulation. And
to tell me, you know, well, we're a family. I thought we were a family, you know, and we've worked together for so long and this and that. And I'm just like, no, man, none of that matters. You know, so of course, after that, I felt this huge weight off my shoulders.
The feel.
And I just didn't give a shit. Why would I? It's 2 weeks. You know what I mean? So when I get called into the office and just like, hey, what's going on with you? You have a different attitude. I was like, I don't give a fuck. I don't care.
And
I
that's
don't.
the trickle down, right?
You know, yeah. And I got out of there, and tell me why they had to hire 2 people, pay them more money than what they were paying me. You know what I mean? After that. And so they had to get 2 people to do what I was doing. I was like, okay, you have a problem with my hours? Have fun paying double my salary for 2 people.
At least they replaced you.
Yeah.
I still don't think they replaced me at my former job. I'm not kidding. When I was there was 3 managers. 2 managers had left. Then they promoted 1 manager. Then there was 4. And 2 of us left. And I'm sure there's 1 person there. But like, you're supposed to grow. Like, you're supposed to grow. Like, on Long Island, the firm I used to work at is like a 55 to say it's like 50 to 60 people. And then they're a national office, 27 offices throughout the country. There's a shop that's across the street from that firm. They have 2 offices, and they have a couple of satellite offices. It's a fucking shithole place. There's a ton of paper on that place. Talk about whatever. They have more people in their Long Island office than my former employer's office. They have more people there. How's that possible? It's a top 10 firm. And how have you not grown in years? Like, at all? Years. When was the last partner they made that was bringing in business at any place, right? You know, and you're telling me this other place over here that literally has 2 offices, and you have 27, and then the office that's across, they're bigger than you. What part of your competitive instincts? Because if you're a salesperson and a business developer, you have a natural competitive instinct because you want to win, right? You want to win. You don't go into sales to lose. You go in to win. So there's no part of you that looks across the street and sees that they're fancier and have more people, and you know, whether they're happy or not is irrelevant, but they're bigger, at least at that spot, and that doesn't bother you at all. I don't know how that doesn't. I don't get it.
I don't either.
I don't get any of the stuff they do, man. It's crazy, but like you said, when you bounce, nothing feels better. And you know, if they really liked you, and again, it's not the people, it's the structure. It's not a dig at the people. It's what was provided to us. This is the atmosphere that's there.
And you know, it's just the younger partner, just the way he was trained, the way he was, it's the same thing. And, you know, so that's what he tried to do on us. It's just, I'm a millennial. I don't deal with it.
And that's the thing. And the younger partners are thinking that they're going to, and you're just not. Like, that's why you're working so late, because they suck. Like, my brother works in the big state and local tax department in Price, and beat the price. Yeah, but you know, it's the same thing. He's always bitching to me. I mean, they're all bitching and complaining, but you're right. Like, I'll leave it with this. Listen, guys, I'm a young guy too, and what the fuck do I know, right? You guys all made partner at your firms, and congratulations. It's a goal I had, and it's a goal that I am so unbelievably happy I failed at. I've never been more happy to fail at something in my entire life than I have in public accounting. It's the best failure, and it's probably better than any success I've ever had in my life. And I'm not kidding, okay? Because they're not going to work for you. Eventually, they're all going to quit. You're never going to find somebody like you. You're never going to find somebody as passionate about this, right? You said your buddy, that was his goal. They're rare, right? You'll find a couple, and I'm sure they exist. And I'm sure there are guys that are, guys that are looking at us, they're, our age and younger, and they're like, dude, man, I want to be partner at EY. I want to be partner at, okay, good. That's awesome. Go achieve that goal. Guess what? This is going to make your road a lot easier, because a lot of these guys are going to bounce and they're going to need people to do it. But eventually, it's not right. You have a balance sheet with debt. You don't have money coming in. You can't pay your debts. What do? You sell your company. That's what you do. You sell or you merge, and you find a way to combine overhead, because that's why you do that, because you have to combine overhead. And then guess what happens, everybody? There's a round, right? There's a round. And not only is there a round, right? There's even like the smaller firms, right? Maybe like the 2, 3, 1 offices, 4 offices, whatever they might be, right? They're in the worst position out of all of them, because they're going to merge with a culture that is not in line how they grew up and how they developed. And all of a sudden they're going to be in for a huge shell shock, culture shock. Because you think you're cozy there, you're not. You're going to change. You're going to get bought, and then you're going to get bought, and then you're going to be a different brand. And then everything you did essentially with that brand is going to be completely useless because it wasn't your brand. It was your employer's brand or your former employer's brand, because now you're employed somebody else. And they don't do the same things you don't. They don't operate the same ways you do. They just don't. And if we're all trying to be sneaky and sending extra bills and not really negotiating ahead of time, like, that's going to catch up. You can't just send bills and expect people to pay them. I don't care if they're $200 or $200,000. You need to have conversations with your clients when you're sending them outside scope bills. It's not only a professional courtesy, in my opinion, it's a no-brainer. How do you just hope that they pay it? What are you, the state of New York, just throwing shit at the wall to see if it sticks? Like, hopefully they pay this. Let's cross our fingers, guys. Mortgages might not get paid next month because they just send a $40,000 bill outside scope to the client that they're going to shit their brains over, and that's not gonna work anymore because more of these things are gonna happen. I'm not going anywhere. I'm going to do more of these. I'm going to keep talking. I'm going to keep saying, I'm going to keep sharing, and I'm going to keep sharing, and I'm going to keep sharing, because I wasn't helped by anybody. So why do I care about you?
Yep.
My former friends. Why do I give a fuck about any of you? You don't care about me. I'm going to take care of me. And if I'm going to take your clients, and so be it. Too fucking bad. Because you're not doing your job, man. You're not. That's why it's easy for me. I just took a client from a huge firm. And you know why I got them? Because I answer the phone.
Yeah. It's that simple. It's that simple.
I answered the phone. And you know what else happened? And this is why it's such a terrible thing too, because, great for me, but it's terrible for you, because once I start pulling these guys, you know what they're going to start doing? They're going to start giving me referrals that they never gave you. Because it already happened, and I know it's going to happen.
Because with you, they were commodity, but now with you, that you actually answer, they want people to work with you.
Justin, you're one guy. How are you doing this all by yourself? And because it's not that hard, number one. And when you know what you're doing, you can build a process that works for you. And I have built a process that works for me, and I have capacity, and I'm very close to reaching the point where I can just filter work on a regular basis. Like, really close. And I'm just filtering out work, getting work done, getting a final product, developing staff, developing team members, working on tax planning, right? Doing all the good stuff that I want to do, because I got my back office pumping out the shit that needs to get pumped out. And I'm training them the way that I've always wanted to work, that I always wish that my former staff would be passionate about. And I understand I might be one of the only people in the world that gets as excited about a tight general ledger as I do, because I just love it. Like, it's just so sick. It's just organized, and I'm an organized person. Like, I just love having, because it gives you so much information, and you can just literally look through your entire year. If you're a $30 million company, you can look at your entire year in like an hour and a half, right? And if you get in those timely reports, you can look at it, because that's what I do. And I'm like, oh, right, I forgot about this. Oh, right, I forgot. And then you're looking for cost-saving opportunity, because you're seeing, like, this bill went up, this bill went up. Like, you need to have information in front of you. And none of these firms are providing these clients, these businesses, with that information. That's why they're leaving. Okay. And there's a lot of pretenders out there that are saying that they do this stuff, and they're being sold on it, and it's hook, line, and sinker, and they're taking the bait, but that's not sustainable. Eventually, CPA Enterprises, Gold Lake Media, Edwin Casanova CPA PC, all of these different brands, and I'm only naming a couple, and I got to be honest with you, I just forgot your podcast name. So,
well, the company is ZTX Advisors, but the podcast is the Innovative Disruptors Pod. Yeah.
Right. All right. So, what I mean, look, you're doing this, and I'm sure, but like, there's a lot of people, and people I see on Instagram too, like, eventually they're just going to get them. And like I said, I can handle a $20 million company. I can handle a $50 million company. It might take me a little bit of time, like a month, 2 weeks, maybe 2 weeks to kind of get it all into system. Right. But if you're coming to me because you're not happy, you're not going to be upset with the fact that you might have to wait 2 weeks for me to onboard you because you need a certain structure. Because I'm literally outsourcing the entire accounting department. I'm replacing the CFO. I'm replacing the controller. I'm replacing the auditor. I'm replacing the tax team. I'm replacing the internal staff. I'm replacing the AP clerk. I'm replacing the AR clerk. I'm replacing the guy that does all of them. They're gone. You know why? Because I charge $75 an hour for all that. And I'm making good profit on it.
Yeah.
because I know how to do it efficiently and I know what it needs to look like. And I'm also taking pride in my end product. And if I have to invest time in my end product to ensure my staff does it to my, not only my expectations, but my preferences. So this way they think independently and do it on their own the same way. But it's important to me that, well, not important to me. I think it's, it's mandatory. I need to look at all of it and I want to read all of it. And this way I can have a conversation and we can talk about things. Look, I fuck up, man. Like I was sitting with the client yesterday and I was going through his GL and I saw 2 big mistakes. And I was like, I broke up rent between 2 things. I don't know. I probably downloaded. I just didn't look at it properly. Right. And I'm like, oh shit. Like, oh, I got to fix that. Like, and there was a time where I would like, buckle with that happen. Like you see it going through a client, you're looking at a mistake and you're not on your game. Like A game immediately, and you're like, and it's not like you got your partners or your bosses looking at you trying to pat your back and support you. You're just pretty much sitting there high and dry. This is completely different, right? Like I'm like, oh, all right, I fucked up. Sorry about that. And it's okay.
It's okay. Everybody messes up.
It's okay. I didn't know that. I
didn't either.
I only thought I messed up. So.
No, I didn't know that either, but it happens, Justin, man, we got to go here. We're at the end of the hour. So just wanted to say thank you for coming, man. We'd love to have you on board again. We got to continue this conversation.
You said we're coming up on the hour. This was 2.5 hours.
Oh, you're right. Okay. I didn't even realize it. Wow.
Long form accounting content, right? all you marketers out there, you guys are this is good stuff, man. And I got to tell you, I'm talking to my boys out there that want to do this too, and you know who you are, and I know some of you are watching this. Let's go, man. Guys, I'm ready. Like, let's do this, man. It's fucking happening, okay? Stop pussyfooting around with shitty fucking retainers and shitty clients that run your life, okay? Let's go. Let's go rock, all right? Let's go out there, and let's just fucking make some shit happen. Because if you put yourself out there on marketing and social, and that's how it's done. And I know I'm doing it at a level that not everyone can do. I understand that. And honestly, and I take pride in that because, I put a lot of work in, and when people say they love it, it means the world to me. And when I ask people what they don't really like, and it's not much stuff, and I know people don't love everything. And I'm telling, people want to see more of this and more of this and more of this. Like, I'm getting clients and your clients are seeing it. And that's why they're contacting me. Jose, I've gotten a bunch of DMs. Business money that you could have gotten, that I got, because I'm not ancestral,izing this little shitty networking group paying a ridiculous fee to hope to get one client, because I'm out there talking to real people on my own time, at my desk, at the pool, my kids, in the bathroom, taking a shit. I am prospecting all the time. And you just reach out, you say hello, and you nailed it, man. The brand is you. The brand is the service. If you are attaching your future in your career with a brand that is not in line with your goals, then you are making a very, very big mistake. And when you were in your 40s and 50s and 60s and 70s and you're still doing that, right? Again, Gary V. Okay. If you're one of those people, okay, if you're one of those people, go to an old age home, like he says all the time. Go to an old age home and go talk to those people that are sitting there mostly lonely, and talk to them about regret. They'll talk to you about regret. I regret, guys. Okay. We work together, and I regret not working with you, and not the work and the good times and the things we shared. But I regret the time, man. I can't get that back. You have kids. Okay. I see my babies every morning. And I see them every night. And when I don't see him, it's because it's my choice, not anybody else's choice. Exactly. So thank you for having me on.
No, I appreciate you coming on, man. And I do want you to come back. I do want you to come back so we can finish this conversation, because I feel like there's still a lot we can touch on still, because there's a big change that needs to happen. So
thanks, brother. I appreciate it. And I appreciate you doing this and giving me this platform, because honestly, I didn't do it. And I don't know if it's, I don't know. I'm not doing it. So you're providing this for me to get this out there. And I know this is probably going to get a lot of action, and I'm excited to see what happens. But it's because of you. I know I'm the content, but it's not possible without you. So I appreciate it.
All right. Well, thank you, man. All right, guys. Well, we'll catch y'all next time. All right.